had like a 30-second delay or something, but yeah, it's still showing waiting for Iron Rail Media.
No, we should be going now. Sometimes you can just start streaming and it goes live. Other times you have to press start streaming and then you have to find the button that says go live and then mash that button too to actually go live. And apparently that's the way it was this afternoon. Maybe it's for
there we go.
Because I pre-scheduled it. That might be the difference as to why it made me press two different buttons. In the morning time, I usually just set it up and there it is. That's what it is. Believe it or not, there was intro music, and I said hello. But Zack was nice enough to point out that we were not live. But we are live now, so welcome. Still Friday. Still September 29th. And I'm still joined by these fine folks. Now we shall jump in and say hello. It's because it feels like it's been so damn long. Let's start off with Mrs. Cami Knodel. You might recognize her channel here on YouTube as Aisling717. Cami, how are you doing?
I'm here. Am I off of mute?
You are off of mute.
Well, that's good for me for what we're doing tonight. It is a Friday night. We made it through another week and another day closer to Oktoberfest.
Oh yeah, it's coming up.
Coming up soon.
Like 6 weeks or so?
Yes. No. 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, October 21st, 22nd. We're coming up on the end of the month too.
Oh, I guess it is, yeah. No shit, huh?
We leave on the 19th and it's the 29th now, so we're sitting at 3 weeks away. 3 weeks yesterday.
That's exciting stuff. So what else have you been up to, Cam?
We're just waiting. Liz says it's a beautiful moon, so I'm getting ready for it to rise here. We've got about another hour before it comes up. Should have a full moon tonight.
Ooh.
And Liz says it's spectacular. She's just ahead of us.
So
Don't know how else to say it, but she's ahead of us. I mean, Zack and I were ahead of you. But no matter how we slice it, Liz, she's getting it first.
So does that mean we're going to have a full moon on Halloween? Or pretty close?
No, not necessarily. That doesn't sound right at all. I would think it'd go out a little bit. They're saying I sound weird. Do I sound weird? Does Josh sound weird?
If everybody sounds weird, that might be me, but I thought I had
Your flange. Quit flanging.
Oh, yeah, that's me.
Pull your flange back up.
I had it all phased out. Should be good now.
Oh, you're phasing. I thought you were flanging.
I changed it. I'm not sure the flanger will work the way the phaser does. Because I know you.
It wasn't me, Liz. Thanks for letting me know.
We can.
I did say
phase
true or say it as I'm playing catch up here.
Oh, yeah, I see Ian saying it's going to be the 27th or so. It wouldn't be quite there, but only 28 days, not a full month. But hey, we might as well say hello to Mr. Walt Johnson. You might recognize his channel here on YouTube as Flat Earth Head. How you doing, Walter? How was your Friday afternoon?
I am good. It was a good Friday. Let me, hello, I'm eating my mic again, because apparently on Zoom, it's required that I eat the mic. So here I am in space, or whatever that is behind me.
Whatever.
Part of my head is gone. There it is. Anyway, I'm here and I'm good. It is, it's Friday, which is always, a good day.
It is.
Unless it's
Bad Friday.
Bad Friday.
And I did look us up and put us in perfect time. We will be at a waning gibbous right at about 90% on October 31st for Halloween. So we'll still have a big moon out there, but it'll be about 10% shy of a full.
Yeah, kind of what I was figuring. Ish.
When night, boom. Anyway, I'll stop.
But for the witching hour tonight, if you want to know midnight in natural time through all the ages, go out tonight, and the closest measurement that you get to that moon to your arm straight up in the air, that is midnight in natural time. Most of us will be over an hour out of it right now, just because of daylight savings time is still in effect.
Garbage.
For, I don't know, a big group of us, but that should be ending fairly soon.
Yeah, I think you're right. Back to real people time. Shout out to Gigi Amber Lynn, I see in chat. As well as a whole pile of other people. And thanks everybody for shouting out the fact that I still had my phaser on. That's what I was doing prior to us going live, as I was here trying to set it up in such a way that should we decide we wanted to play music here on Have No Sphere, we can do that and hopefully not get struck by the YouTube gods. I think we can. I think we can. I think I've got it. I can run it through my phone. I can run it right through the computer, and I can phase them out 2 different ways. Like I said, it would make our morning times and everything a hell of a lot easier if we could just play music and not have to feed and shit.
Right. Wait a minute. Brian Gaskell, we just got here. You cannot go to bed yet.
Right, how in the hell you going to bed? It's only
Wait, aren't you on the left coast?
Yeah, it's like 3:30 in the afternoon over there.
2 in the morning. I mean, 2 in the afternoon over there. 3. Yeah, 3. Wake your ass up.
Maybe he's got to take a nap before he goes and hits the lanes.
I know how that is. I just got up from one about 2 hours ago.
Oh, see, it does say Abby. These are my reading glasses for only up close. I can't see far away. It does say Abby Lynn. Did I say Amber Lynn?
Yeah, but it's not the 80s anymore, Josh, so calm down.
But I think we are.
Well, showing our age there. Anyway, Zack's here, I think.
I guess we are still one person out, Mr. Zachary Zabala, and he's got a little channel here on the YouTubes called Good Times for All with his own very unique spelling. Good luck finding it, Zach. How are you doing?
Hey, Josh. Hey, everybody. Yeah, I'm doing good. Beautiful day today, man. It was 81 degrees, they said. Super clear sky. Kind of a little haze. But, there's no, cloud. It's like a weird sky today. I don't know how to explain it. It's not like cloudy, but you could tell that there's something there. If that makes any sense.
In reference to that, there really is something there. There is a stream of clouds that are racing off of the coast in South Carolina, but we're well inland and hitting New York City, which has been under a state of emergency all day. It had a little bit over 8 inches of rain the last time I looked.
That's insane. In one day.
And still raining. But it's this whole swatch of moisture that's like a line that's been running off coast here from South Carolina all the way up, but landing right at New York City, and has been since late last night.
Wild.
So I think that we're just digging on
a lot of water.
Literally, it's a lot of water, and we're in a lane off to the side. But yeah, it's been a really, really pretty day out. I just thought I'd mention it because it's a little bit crazy that that's a lot of rain in a day. A lot of rain.
Yeah, it's a redonkulous amount of rain.
Gonna flood out all those turtles in the sewers.
The alligators in the, what are those one things called?
Rats.
Swamp Thing? No, where was Swamp Thing from?
The swamp?
Who was the one guy that came from the radioactive waste or whatever?
Oh, that was shit.
Oh, what was his name?
The Toxic Avenger.
Toxic
Avenger.
We're talking about Toxic.
Oh my
They're
goodness.
remaking that even as we speak. Currently in remake.
No, okay, I can't take a drink of coffee yet. Hold on.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe it is being dinklaged. I think he has something to do with it. Yeah, I got to go find out, because when I saw it go by, I didn't stop, and then I forgot until you just brought it back up. So yeah, I think he's involved. I don't know that he's the title character, but I think he's involved.
Tiniest little Toxic Avenger there?
Tiniest little Toxic ever, right? Tiny Toxic. Anyway, but yeah, let me go find out.
Man, I have seen some, I don't even know what I saw today. Or just over this last week. Just interesting little facts and tidbits. It's crazy. This place is just amazing. I can't even remember what they were, but I learned at least 2 things this week that just blew my mind. Oh, you'll like this one, Josh. The cops were towing this car of the car just said not for commercial use, private vehicle or private automobile, not for commercial use. And the cops started towing it. And this guy who didn't own the car, but he was an auditor, but he was like a lawyer type. He was like, okay, I'm placing you all under arrest right now. This is a citizen's arrest. Are you going to resist arrest? And they're all like, you're not arresting us. He's like, okay, this is all being video recorded. Remember this, gentlemen. And like, I guess it's in court right now. All these, there's like 6 or 7 cops there. But in a lot of states, I guess if you see a felony taking place, you have the right to make a citizen's arrest, even if it is a police officer.
Citizens arrest!
Citizens arrest! I know it sounds crazy, but the way he went about it was great. He didn't ever put his hands on him or anything like that. Turn around, put your hands behind your back, he said. They didn't do it, this and that. You know, but he kept saying all the right things. And I guess it's in court right now. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, that one blew my mind. But he was pretty much arresting the police officers for committing a felony, for stealing this car. So we'll see. Yeah, that'll be an interesting one. But yeah, because, I mean, by all rights, there's so many Supreme Court cases that already rule you have the right to travel in an automobile without paying any other. You don't need a license. You don't need this. You don't need that. That's for commercial purposes. Now, they've taught us all this. I remember being taught in high school to go to the DMV and get your driver's license and they teach us to go get it, but we don't have to go get it. And I love, this is one of those, if you have all the right paperwork and everything, I mean, you may get towed a lot. You may get harassed by the police a lot.
You will.
You will. But in court, you should win. There's a lot of Supreme Court rulings backing this up. But yeah, I am so interested to see what happens in this case. If he wins, I know it's going to go huge. It'll be a big one. But yeah, he was arresting the officers. Yeah, it was wild. And they all knew that they were in the wrong. You could tell by, it's like seeing a kid with his hand caught in the cookie jar. They all have their eyes down, hands in their pockets, or hands behind their backs. Like, just, that look of, oh shit, this person knows the law. Fuck, I don't know the law. What do I do here? Oh, and there was another one. It was mainstream media. Rogue Nation covered this today. Did you see that one, Josh?
I did, with Leroy Truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a mainstream media going in to try to speak to the mayor, and the cop wouldn't let him go up a escalator that was part of the public building. But the mayor didn't want to be disturbed, so he put goons out there. Yeah, it was all about some kind of fraud, election fraud, something or other. They just wanted to ask him questions. That was it.
Long Island audits getting fucking harassed and trying to arrest them, like run off the road, like straight
wow,
crazy stuff. Yeah, it was like on his way home, like he had to run inside as this car that tried to run him off the road pulled up in front of his house, and some guy got out and caught his saw that he had a video camera, a security camera on the front of his house, puts up a balaclava over his head so you can't see his face, and gets back in his car. It was fucking nuts.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it was.
That's why I love the Second Amendment.
Probably a little harder when you're in New York, though.
Yeah, a lot harder, I'm sure.
Apparently there's some audio issues still with Cami. Not sure what's going on there. I'm just playing catch up in the chat there.
I think I'm going to switch out headphones.
There's no telling. No telling.
Yeah, you sound good here. Weird.
Okay,
but she hears something in her headset as well. She's hearing.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, she's having.
According to Liz there in chat, real quick, as a follow-up to a story we talked about this morning, apparently a 60-year-old man has been arrested now for cutting down the old sycamore at Hadrian's Wall.
Wow. Should have known better.
Robin Hood tree. So yeah, there you go.
So who owns that land? Is I mean,
I'll have to find an actual story.
The king.
if it's his tree,
The king.
yeah, I don't know how land ownership goes over there.
I'm not sure. And another thing, before we get way too far from it, and it doesn't matter. Oh my God! I just watched a red band trailer for the new Toxic Avenger. It is glorious. And yes, it is Dinklage in the title fucking role.
No.
I can't wait. Yes, it looks great. I'm grinning ear to ear. I love it. I can't wait. If you're of an age where you missed the Toxic Avenger in the late 80s, I'm sorry. And there's no going back now because it wouldn't have the same effect as it did back then. But yeah, definitely excited to hear this is happening. Yes, LC King and Lucas, call in and explain your app as Liz requested. Again, playing catch up in chat.
You are the man, Walter.
Yeah, late 80s. Well, I definitely thought I was too mature for Toxic Avenger or that type of stuff. I'm glad that you weren't dealing with that, but I'm sorry I am like dealing with the fact that I thought I was like too grown up for all of that stuff by then. Way too grown up, not just a little.
Yeah, that's the good stuff. That's one thing I never got too grown up to do is watch stupid movies. I've always loved my mom. It drives her nuts because she thought I was gonna grow out of it or something. But like she can't stand Will Ferrell or Adam Sandler or any of those guys that did all the silly, goofy, Jim Carrey. Can't stand any of those guys. And those are, she thought Dumb and Dumber was the dumbest movie of all time. And at 14, it was like my favorite movie. So yeah, no, I've never grown out of that. I've always liked the dumb, like Step Brothers. I watched that movie so many times when it first came out.
I can appreciate not liking Dumb and Dumber or Step Brothers or having to deal with idiocy on a daily basis in the real world. It makes it really hard to use idiocy as escapism on the big screen. You're like, oh, fuck. Didn't I just deal with this trying to get my fucking large popcorn and a soda in the lobby? Fuck. $25 to watch a fucking Walmart episode.
I haven't been in the movies in forever. Last time I went to the movie that cost like $6, maybe $7 to get in. I think it was when the last Harry Potter movie
that's probably when you saw Toxic Avenger.
No, I think were you not watching Fuzzywick Films? What was that movie that we went up to North Carolina and saw?
What movie now?
The one that we went to North Carolina. The Fire.
Oh, yeah, that's different. That's, you know what I mean.
That's real stuff, right? That's real stuff.
Yeah.
It was a cute theater. It was a cute theater in a cute town.
Yeah, no, that was. But yeah, like the last like big motion picture thing I went to go see, from Satanwood or whatever, the Hollywood. Yeah, was Harry Potter, I think.
Yeah, I think the actual last time I went and paid money to go to the movies, probably when all those biopics for music people were out, like the Queen one and the Elton John one. We went to see those. And about it. I think before that, it was probably one of the dinosaur movies. Which one? Oh, it was the really bad one where like it was terrible all the way through with Chris Pratt all the way through it, and at the end it broke, and they were like, "Well, we can rerun it," and I'm like, "I don't want to sit through that horrible shit just to see the last 5 minutes that I don't care about now. Thank you, give me my money back." Anyway.
Yeah.
I'm not sure I've been to a theater since Dixie and I have been together. Maybe. I'd probably have to ask her. She might remember more than I would. But I don't think so. And that's been 10 or 11 years.
Yeah, I was starting to think, and I haven't really been in the theater since Jared's been to the age where he didn't want to go to the movie with his mom and dad. Before that, we did it a lot, but you need mom and dad to go to a movie, and then it shifts dramatically to there's no way I want to be seen with mom and dad at the movie theater, and at that switch, actually he would go to movies too as I get if there was a good one, but it's been a long time. And certainly not like when we did all the family ones when he was younger.
Yeah, we used to go to the movies a lot, but we had a theater right in the small town that I lived in that wasn't like one of these big places. It was called the Art. It was the old courthouse from like 18 whatever, where they used to hang people. And they turned it into the theater. Then they used to do plays up there for the longest time, and then they put up the projector and all that kind of stuff. But it was $250, till like the 90s. It was late 90s. It was $250 to get in there to see a show, and they were all like 2 or 3 weeks old.
That was the most glorious thing in the 80s and early 90s, the dollar movie, the $2 movie, that you could go watch your favorite movie all the time. Like every night you could go literally every night of the week and see a movie you liked. I saw probably all the crazy 80s stuff over and over and over so many times as it would hit the main theater, and then like you said, about 2 weeks later it'd be over at the Dollar Cinema. And it would run there forever because they were trying to stretch it for as long as they could.
Yeah, when they'd get a good one. I remember they ran the very first Batman for like 3 weeks.
Right. I think, I'm a little older, so my era would have been like Star Trek, the motion picture, and Heavy Metal and Popeye and stuff like that. They were showing them endlessly, and it was just like having internet these days. I got to see it over and over and over, and knew all the dialogue before it was even out of the other theaters. Good.
And ours was cool because you had the mall. You can go to the mall, to the multiplex, and see your choice of whatever new releases. But then we had down the road, of course, the dollar show. And just to go in, it was like being transported back into time.
Right.
The carpet was 30 years out of date. All the decorations were old. It still stunk like cigarettes
sconces
and cigars.
All over the wall. Old, big, huge sconces everywhere. Right.
They even had the old guy playing live music on an organ before they would start.
No way. Come on, wait a minute.
I swear to God. Yep. Live organ music prior to the previews. It was a whole experience.
So you had Pearl
Let's all go to the lobby. Let's all go to the lobby. Remember that one?
Oh, yeah.
And the drive-in. We used to do the drive-in only in the summertime, though. Northern Indiana. It's the only time it's open.
I have just the vaguest of memories of being at a drive-in. I know that I
saw RoboCop at the drive-in.
That's epic.
That's epic. Still remember that one because my buddy almost choked on a Dorito, and he was freaking out. He got a little.
My era for the theater, for the drive-in would have been about like, Jaws, Close Encounters, mid-70s, late 70s.
Are there any more Rocky Horror Picture Shows? I haven't seen one down here in the Bible Belt at all.
I think My Dollar Show, which is now $2. They no longer have a live organist, but I think you can still catch it on rare occasions. They'll run the Friday night or a Saturday night, the Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, there used to be a place in Maryville, Indiana that did it every Saturday night. And people would get up on stage and act it out as the movie was going. And yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to my buddy from high school, Timmy, who I went to see that with. Really drunk one night. And we were just aggravated. It's like, shut the fuck up.
I know. I was going to say, did you stay for the whole thing or did you leave?
I don't even think we made it to it. We were just like, dude, I can't watch this movie. These people were aggravated. We were way too drunk to be in there.
Oh, member berries. I love doing member berries.
Brian, CB in chat. I do see that you've done that. I will go check here. And that is correct. That is the right answer. I wasn't checking you, man. I promise. I know you're not a robot. That's what's up, Rocky. I see you, Ray, in chat. I can still remember standing in line to go see Rocky 3 and being pumped up and then coming out.
What was
my uncle had
that?
just passed away, and there was Mickey dying, and we were all like, no, Mickey. Oh, sorry, spoilers. Sorry.
Jesus, what a dick.
I think you can spoil it. It's like, what, 40 years old now?
All right, I guess I'll let that one go.
That still brings a tear to my eye. When he sees Mickey as the angel in part 4, kinda.
Oh, wow, I forgot about all that. Yep.
Get up, you son of a bitch. It's like, oh my God, I just got chills just now, just thinking about it. Goosebumps. One more round. I ain't hear no bell.
Yeah, that shit brings a tear to my eye, too.
Yeah, he was great in that. Mickey, the guy who, I don't even know his name.
Burgess Meredith.
That
Phenomenal actor. One of my favorites growing up. He was the Penguin. He was in a number of amazing, like, Twilight Zones and Outer Limits and all those great old sci-fi shows. Yeah, love me some Burgess Meredith. He actually did the narration to replace Rod Serling for the Twilight Zone movie. Is how associated with the Twilight Zone episodes he was.
I got that stupid song in my head. Oh, so what's everybody out there doing?
For
I
real.
know that's what I'm doing, playing catch up in chat.
Anybody want to come on? Tell us how your day went? Or don't buy it.
I do, but
Only if you ask.
no.
And it's a fair bite. That was a fair bite. It's always sunny in Philadelphia. I saw you bite that guy. It was a fair bite. It was okay. He could bite me a little bit like that. They're still pushing this fusion energy. They were building some giant fusion reactor or something like that. It's like, you guys said it was like 3 decades away. Oh wow, this is new from space.com. I need to put this on the thing here. Light from cosmic web connecting galaxies has been seen for the first time. A video.
The cosmic web. Huh?
Yeah, let's go to space.com and see what these people have to say about that.
See, I think this is more of our giant spider overlords spinning their
It's an
cosmic
Bob
webs.
back in the mix.
Mm-hmm. I, for
Speaking of,
one,
when you get on the
welcome
story, I don't even know what it
Minion.
is.
Oops.
Oh shit! You okay?
Yeah, sorry about that. I thought it was
No,
on
it's
mute.
fine.
I have a dog that disappeared.
Well,
I'm
make sure you
out
go get it.
back and
But
maybe
yeah,
lose contact.
as the stuff was going by in my whatever, I was flipping through stuff earlier. I saw that there's a new damn it, what's the show with all the damn it comes out every season. It's spooky and it's all like gotten really dumb. The first 1 or 2 were really good. The third one got dumb with the circus. American Horror Story.
Yeah, I was there.
Apparently, the new American Horror Story has something to do with giant spiders on a lady, like it looked like it was maybe mating with her. I'm not sure what the fuck's going on, but my first thought was, oh, so now we're doing Hattie Bob on the on American Horror Story. I haven't watched that in about 6 or 8 seasons since the first 2. It was the last ones I enjoyed. But go ahead, Zach. I saw your story up. Now I broke it. I'm sorry. Uh-oh, did we lose Zach?
Yep, he gone. No, I don't know.
You can run, but you can't hide, Zach. I found the dogs.
Oh, that's true. He was helping dogs.
Did you? Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm
I did.
outside running around. You found him?
Yep.
Okay.
He went over to Marianne's.
Little shit.
Bullshit is right.
He's a honey badger. He just don't give a fuck.
That's pretty much his attitude. Here comes Zach back.
And what were you doing? What were you doing? You scared mom just like that? Oh, really? Really? Let's talk about it.
Oh, wow.
Come here. Hi.
Another side note, I just saw this as I was scrolling back up to check chat. Apparently, 21 hours ago, the Y-Files has released an episode on Plum Island. Get the fuck out. I can't wait. But Josh's old stomping grounds.
Dude, tell me about Plum Island.
Josh is the one turned me onto it back in the day, early in our little getting together and talking about the crazy shit we knew about. I didn't know about it.
That is my little honey badger on the screen, and he really don't give up. He don't care. Honey badger don't care.
Honey badger don't give a damn.
I call him. I say, come back. He's like a cat. He don't care.
We're actually not seeing your camera if you're showing us.
Oh, he's on. I'm watching him.
He was on mine.
He's on
there.
Zack's.
Okay.
He's not in good favor with me, so he's getting snuggled for It's like, Zack, mom's mad.
Will we get struck if I play?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay, I'll watch it and see what. But they say they saw a cosmic web between two galaxies.
So what's all that gaseous matter and all the cool Jesus holding the lamb in space photos from the Hubble? That's not connective tissues of the galaxy, allegedly. That's just space clouds.
Yeah, I know.
Space.
So this is the first video, I guess, here. So I'm going to have to stop sharing this.
So this is not ones and zeros. We're getting actual.
That's what they say. We'll see. No, that's a pure animation I'm looking at. This is
I saw the one you
Caltech.
were showing. Looked
A
like
video
an
by Caltech. Gas filament shown in 3D animation. Are you serious? You just said, wow. Nope. So that lame picture I showed, it's just that spinning around. That's it.
Oh man.
Yeah, light from the cosmic web. Here, I'll show you this, what they say. So light from the cosmic web connecting galaxies has been seen for the first time. Video. Now, what does that make you think? Have directly imaged.
Should I let Lucas in? I'll let him in.
And then what they show us is
Someone's
this.
knocking at the door. Somebody's ringing the bell. I did you a favor. I opened the door. I let him in. Yeah.
Who was that? Crystal Gale back in the 80s, maybe? Somebody's knocking. Should
No,
I let
man,
him
come
in?
on.
Hey guys,
What's up,
Lucas.
man? Lucas. Trying to get back to
How
the
you
call.
going?
Lost it. Lost the call.
Where's the
Oh,
goat?
it is the call. I thought I had a web page open. You confused me. What's up, Lucas?
not much. Trying to work out this Zoom window.
Good luck.
Right? Good luck.
It's like went full screen. I'm like, I need to look at other stuff as well.
Yeah, it's actually acting up. I think they've changed it. It used to go from a decent size to a small size to go away. Now it's a huge size to a small size to go away. So I'm trying to squeeze mine down, actually. a better, smaller screen.
Other than that, it's a beautiful day here in the land down under. And yeah, Saturday morning.
What's your weather looking like right about now? You're in springtime, right?
Yeah, we've had some wicked days. Really nice.
You've been out in it too, haven't you? You look good. Look healthy, tan.
Yeah, yeah. I'm outside every day. I've got a new job where I do trees. So yeah,
What
we're
happened
going.
when you get off the damn internet, Josh?
Yeah, prune trees and chop them down and all that sort of stuff. So just doing man work.
Yeah, that's good exercise
Fucking
right there,
ass, good
man.
stuff right there.
You
Yeah,
want to lift a
absolutely.
chainsaw and roll on logs and holy hell, yeah. It took me about 3 weeks to get my body into some sort of physical shape, you know.
Yeah, I hated that when I would go do a job where I wasn't really doing manual labor, and then all of a sudden you start doing manual labor again, and it's like that first day, like halfway through it, you're just like, oh shit, can I do this anymore? Like my body's just saying stop, just don't do this. But you push through it, and then yeah, about 3 weeks later, you don't even notice it anymore. You're back into that.
Yeah,
good,
that's right.
yeah. But yeah, that first day back sucks so bad. You get good sleep though. I bet you slept
Yeah,
good.
no, it's been good, you know. And it's nothing like being outside and working that really just brings some sort of like, brings you back down to the foundation. Because you can get caught up, like I was getting caught up, especially when I was sitting at home here and that. Just access to the computer and the internet and all that sort of stuff and looking at it, and you just sort of get caught up and a bit of a whirlwind happens, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. And the next thing you know, you're all pasty and white and
Yeah.
unhealthy looking.
Yeah, and you're angry at the world because people say
Right.
things and you're just
People are
like,
dumb. Right.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's been really good for me just to get out, make some money and do other stuff. So
Now, was it easy? How'd you get the job? Did you go apply for the job, or was it somebody you knew already?
yeah, there's someone in the town and they said, oh, we're lacking a driver because they didn't have a driver. So I said, yeah, I'll give you a hand for 2 weeks and, do the job for a bit. And then while I'm doing it, I'm like, this job's good. I enjoy this. And then so he said, oh, you like the job? You want it? I'm like, yeah, okay, no worries. So I kept working.
Yeah, I was
getting sick of the farm because, with COVID and that, it sort of knocked it all out. And then it was just like trying to rebuild my business. And I'm like, I just don't have the heart, just go and do other things.
Yeah, change is good.
Mm-hmm. Change is good. You got to reset your trajectory. Maybe you can come back and look at it with new eyes and take it in a whole new direction and not have to worry about fucking COVID killing customers.
Yeah, and the other thing is like, there's nothing like a paycheck,
Mm-hmm.
just having that constant paycheck every week, and you're just like, yes, this is awesome.
This is awesome. Yeah, hard to let this go. Thank God it's Friday. Oh, it's Monday. Thanks, boss. Yep.
Yeah,
I can appreciate a paycheck.
yeah. So yeah, that's me. And we'll talk about the app if you want to talk about that later on or whatever. I'm happy just to chill for a while.
Yeah, but
Yeah, man.
before we do get into it, I am real curious. If now that you're working, if anybody's come up to you and said, it sounds like you're having a case of the Mondays.
No, I haven't had that.
No, man. No. Shit, no, man.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Let me ask you something. When you come in on Monday and you're not feeling real well, does anyone ever say to you, sounds like someone has a case of the Mondays?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
There you go. Just a heads up now that you're a clock punching 9 to 5 working man.
quiet.
That was you breaking up a little bit, Zach. What'd you just say?
Oh, I stepped away from the thing too far. I was just saying we need to test this theory.
See if you get your ass kicked for saying something like that.
Yeah, go in.
Yeah, I can try it.
Someone's got
Monday's coming up.
Bunch of big burly tree workers, and then walks Lucas.
Sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays.
Laying there on the ground at the bottom of the tree. Chainsaw next to him, still running. Aw, sounds like somebody's got a case of the Mondays. Yeah, I guess it's all
I don't think I'm
timing.
allowed to do that.
All about the timing, I suppose. Will determine as to whether or not you get your ass kicked. They say that's one of the most dangerous jobs out there.
Yep.
Yeah, man, that's part of the. That's why I like the job a bit, though.
Keeps
It's
you on
got
your
like
toes,
this-
isn't it?
Yeah.
Never
it's got
gets
this,
boring.
Like, nah, you're going to a different spot all the time, but you know, like when they're dropping trees or there's like the arborist is up in the tree, you got to be, you know, have your wits about you, you know, because he'll be dropping limbs, and then you got to wait until he's sort of stopped for a second, and then go and get the limbs and throw them in the chipper. And
Now, is it a lot of private contracting, or do you do any government work? Like
No,
local...
most of it. Yeah. Most of it's private, but we do like some government contracts where you just go along the roadsides and you'd trim back some of the trees that are starting to overhang. So, but that's pretty straightforward stuff as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome, man.
cool. I think
Do
we
you
can
guys have
find a
the bucket?
photo. Yeah. We have the. Yeah, I'll see if I can get some photos up. I'll try and find them for you. Because that's what I've been learning lately is to go up in the elevated work platform. It's called.
Yeah.
And it's a
dude.
15-meter high one. So
Okay, so 45 footer.
yeah,
I know they make
49
one that does
foot, I
like
think.
110, isn't there? They get real big.
Yeah, like that would be like 21 meters on 19 to 21 meters. Yeah. So, yeah. It's pretty high when you're up there. That's for sure.
Yeah. I know I wanted to try to rent one of those to do the magnet test drop. That'd be perfect. Have it like out a little bit, or the real tall one, but I think it would be expensive. That's a big machine.
Go to
Yeah,
the
I
rental
don't know.
yard, Zach. Go to the rental yard. Talk to the guys behind the counter. Let them know what you're looking to do.
Might be able to do it right there.
Right there in the lot. Yep.
That's what I need to do. Because yeah, that'd be perfect.
Like I only
That
need to
would be
borrow it for like 5 minutes. I gotta go home, raise it up, drop this, hook it back up, come back, drop it off. Or if it's cool, I could just raise me up, let me drop it, raise me back down, and I'll be done.
No, raise someone else up is what we're going to be doing. Zach won't be doing shit if he's that high up in the air. Zach will be holding onto the railing, freaking out.
On all fours.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, Zach doesn't like heights. Not like that.
All right, let me just see here.
Shout out to
Yeah,
Mike
that's
LeBron.
dangerous work, though. Lucas, just be careful, man.
Yeah, be very careful.
Yeah, I've already had one little accident where there was a limb and it sort of went the wrong way, and I ran out from underneath it, and the limb hit me in the back of the ankle.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. It was bruised for probably 2 weeks or something like that, but I could barely walk on it for a while.
That sucks, man.
And that's how you get your Achilles
And
tendon.
that's how you
broken.
learn.
Yeah.
I'm
Headache.
just lucky that I looked up and got out of the way.
Is there a word you guys yell to let everybody know something's falling where it's not supposed to?
No, they sort of make this like whoop noise because
Okay.
it kind of it gets across the the sound of the machines and stuff like that.
The different frequencies. Uh-huh.
Yeah, the iron workers up in northern Indiana would yell headache. And it means don't look up. It means, kind of cover your shoulders or whatnot. Everybody's got a hard hat on. But it's they're telling you not to look up. because
Ah.
if the thing's falling down, you don't want to catch it in the face. You want it to hit you on the hard hat.
Oh yeah, okay.
So yeah, they just scream headache when something like an ironworker drops a tool or something like that.
That sounds like too long a word for me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Headache is like as soon as I say, yeah, exactly.
Dropped it. Now the phrase is, "Excuse me, gentlemen, I seem to have dropped my tools. You'll need to watch out because you have a headache inbound."
Yeah.
Can you give me screen sharing?
Oh shit! Yeah, thought I did. All set.
Okay.
How's politics going down there in Australia?
Oh, I don't know, man.
The only thing I
Honestly.
see is something about Aboriginal something or other trying to do something.
Yeah, it's like this vote yes or something they're saying for it, and it's just it's dodgy. That's for sure. They're
That's
trying
your
to give
take on
rights
all
to
that? Okay.
Well, it seems like they're trying to give the Aboriginals, more power so that they can actually take it off them at some stage. That's what it all seems like to me. But that's same
Wow,
old thing.
look at that machine. Brr.
That's me up in there. Yeah.
The elevated work platform, or EWP for short. Sometimes you
EWP.
can just call it "Eep."
Gotta grab this.
Nope, the highest I would go, we had the
So you
scissor
saw the
lift at
curve up
work.
there?
No, I was looking for it. It was flat.
Yeah, I'd go up to about
Uh,
10 feet, 10, 12 feet, something like that. That'd be it. I'm good from that height.
I love to be up high. I don't mind that, as long as there's nothing big next to me.
Well, you did oil platform stuff for a little while, didn't you, Walter?
Dude. There was nothing better than climbing up in that derrick to grease it with a big fatty and sit up there and just get baked and look out across Florida. That's when I was in Florida, actually.
Crazy.
Yep.
Crazy, crazy, crazy.
What
Of
has
course, I wouldn't have done that if the motor man wasn't already up there burning one.
what has two thumbs and now wants a bowl?
Oh, what?
This guy.
How do I point to all of y'all and myself with these thumbs? Certainly be careful. I know they've said it, but I'll reiterate it. And I did a lot of pulpwood when I was a young lad with my uncle out in his land, me and my cousins, and yeah, saw a lot of close calls. One of my older female cousins caught her leg with the chainsaw after it hit a knot in the tree. It bounced out and hit her, and yeah, stitching.
Oh.
Whole lot of fun stuff.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind having a go at climbing and being an arborist and getting up there, but
Getting up there,
I'm probably
yeah,
too
that'd
old
be
now.
cool.
Arborists make a lot of, they make
Yeah,
good
they do.
money. You have to know what you're doing, though. It's like being kind of like a doctor almost. You have to know symptoms of different diseases that the trees get and stuff like that, and how to, arborists that's a good person to know. Someone who knows trees like that.
Lucas King, Australian arborist. The show writes itself. I mean,
No, I think I'm too old. But I reckon you got to be a young bloke climbing trees.
Yeah, I used to be good at climbing trees. I'm light. I'm long.
Yeah, good reach.
Yeah, I got that wingspan. I can just. And on a tree, I'd go way up into trees as long as I knew I could get down. Like as long as I knew I had steps and all that, all the way up and all the way down, I'd be fine. It was different up in a tree. But like when you're on like that platform, you fall off that platform. There's not a bunch of branches and other things you can grab on the way down. It's a lot of air. That's what I didn't. Yeah. That's the kind of heights I don't like to do.
Trying to
Liz is
catch up with this
saying you're
chat.
not that old, Lucas. You're not that old.
Oh yeah, I just turned 40 the other day, so yeah, I'm getting there.
I'm like 45 or 46 on Sunday.
Yeah,
Uh-huh.
Something like that.
You don't know which one?
I forget all the time how old
do
I
too.
am.
I'm constantly going, okay, 6, 5.
Right.
Who cares? What year is it again?
it was
I
a
see,
little. Look,
half the
I'll
time I
have
have
to
to do
admit,
that.
it
I'm
was
like,
a
wait,
little
is it
bit
20,
depressing hitting 40. I was like, oh no, that's another digit, in the front end.
And
I
how
turn
much,
it back now.
how much more mature and grown up do you feel now?
I
Not
don't
at all,
know, man.
right?
I
Just
feel
like
the
the same
same.
idiot you were. Exactly. Same idiot
Yeah.
fuck you were at 12. You are now.
Still
We all
learning.
are. Just
Still
playing a big
making
game.
Still making dumb
Still
mistakes.
still dumbing up shit left and right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
still saying stupid shit. Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially to the wife, like, oh, damn, what was I thinking?
Get him,
Yeah.
Shell.
I know a few extra things, and I'm trying not to believe as much as I once did. Have this
Right.
hardcore belief about something. Just because it's sort of, you get to the point now where I'm old enough to know that sometimes your beliefs just move on and leave you.
Is there a
and you
difference?
can't feel so strong about them.
Is there a difference between belief and faith?
I guess the word.
Well, okay, the spelling and the pronunciation.
Well, I think
I'll give you that.
faith, that, you don't know, but you are taking it on faith. You're putting your faith in when you believe something, though, you think it's true, like it's like, that it's true. You know this is right. You're not just taking it on faith. You believe it to be true. It would be my way of looking at it. The difference.
Yeah, it's like a fine line between like belief and knowing, isn't it?
Well,
Yeah.
I don't think there's a very fine line between belief and knowing. I think there's a very large, distinct line between belief and knowing. I think that's sort of what I'm getting at, because it's always glorified, especially in the religions, or by George Michael or Limp Bizkit, that you just got to have faith, and it's it's the belief, it's the power of belief, and that's where the power of all this stuff comes from. And it's as though knowledge in a thing is looked down upon. If you know God exists, like Constantine, that's different than having the belief in God, believing in God, versus having like firsthand experiences and having interacted with God and knowing that God exists, versus knowing something that is to be true versus believing something, or just having faith that something is true. I mean, you could believe it to be true, or you could have faith for that it is true, and I don't really see any big fundamental difference between the two. I just think it's strange that so many religions put so much stock in ignoring what you know and just trying to convince you that belief and faith is the way to go. Don't trust your senses. Don't trust that you can know things objectively. Just take our word for it, essentially.
Yeah.
And believe. Because without that
yeah,
power...
so now we have the religion of science, which was meant to sort of go against that faith and belief type idea, wasn't it? It was meant to say, well, now we know these things because we can repeat the tests and all that sort of stuff, but that science ended up turning into another religion.
Yeah.
So what is it like, the people kind of like Rick and Morty, like when Rick is about to die, no way out, and he starts saying, oh Lord, thank you Lord, please Lord, this and that, let Morty do this, or blah blah blah. He starts praying, and then all of a sudden he fixes it, and all of a sudden, fuck you, there is no God. So what is it? Yeah, he doesn't believe in God, but he has faith when he needs it. He calls upon God in his darkest hours.
Yeah, we call those foxhole prayers. when you're in a program, generally they'll call those foxhole prayers, that you're willing to absolutely surrender your complete and utter will to God when you have no other fucking choice. And only then, and it's learning then how to exercise that surrender in times that's more than just when you're in the foxhole and shit's hitting the fan and bullets are whizzing above your head and you're trying to push your buttons down into the dirt just to get a little bit lower. Foxhole prayers.
I've done a few of those.
I don't know. I do faith and believing a little bit differently. That faith is internal. Faith would be my connection, like with the Creator, that is a very, very personal thing, and it's not a detail orientated or anything. It's just how I feel inside, or it's in my dreams, it's in my heart, it's feeling, it's a connection. It feels like a connection, right? That's my faith. What I believe are trying to figure out some of the details. I might believe in a detail or not believe in a detail, but it's outside of the faith.
Okay, so you're using faith in a different type of word, faith as in religion.
Correct, not at all.
Okay, so then so it's just a matter of whether you're on how you're using the word faith. So then if you were to say then all of that is your faith, by what, how would you rate that? Okay, intercept that with religion. What about that makes it a faith? Is it just your belief? Or do you have like a ritualistic aspect to it that creates an actual faith rather than relying upon faith to believe it, or just having faith that that connection with the Creator is true? You're saying it's not that I have faith that it's true. You're saying I have it, and that is my faith that I have this Creator. What makes it a faith or a religion versus just? No.
And I think I think that's part of the thing with a lot of the religions is they change what is faith, and they say here's faith. It's a lot of little details that you can argue back and forth, and you can believe or not believe in. When again, I think it would be a separation of the two.
So you would be arguing about the faith, arguing whether you believe the faith or don't believe the faith.
Well, the whole thing about the faith is the faith to me is entirely internal connection.
No, but can we still just
therefore I wouldn't argue it with anybody because it's not. And to me, that would be the difference between the faith and the.
So you could have faith in the faith. You could believe in a religion, or you could have faith in the faith. Yes. Having faith in the faith or a belief in a religion would essentially be the same thing.
Nuanced, it could mean.
Nuance, right.
Well, could we say you believe in the faith? Would that be different than having faith in the faith?
Yes, it would be.
In what way? Because that's going to bring me back to my fundamental question, because now we're eliminating the way that you're using the word faith. We're just going to use religion, and we're going to replace that with the faith. So you can believe in believe in the faith, or you can have faith in the faith.
In that case, I'm not using it that way. If it's used that way, just like other words, I was doing like a personal description between the two, but like many different words, faith, you're going to bring up under definition. I don't know how many, but I know it's going to be multiple ways of using it. And so we're just using it differently. And so that's getting into the schematics. And that's getting into, the little beliefs and that people sit there and tear apart and pick or say it's right or wrong because of that. But again, the full faith or the knowledge of a Creator that's greater than, and that I'm a child of, is outside of that realm. It's outside of something that is an argument to me. It's not exactly.
So if you can't know it, you just have to believe it to be true.
No, I have to have faith. Because believing, I would almost.
So you don't believe it. You don't believe it, but you have faith that it is true.
No, because again, I'm going to put the belief into different I'm going to put what you're using belief. I'm going to put it into the details. And again, if you sat there and said, "Well, I can catch you on this detail or that,"
it's kind of like flat Earth. You
Kind of.
know, you can't really prove it
Right.
but I don't
All
know.
you can do is have
I wouldn't
faith.
say I
all of the
believe
pieces,
it.
all of the pieces of my experiences and soul, and again, just my
Yeah, it's
lifetime
the
of experiences.
what's Bob's thing? The
Preponderance. The
Preponderance of evidence. If you're going to do that, and do I need to accumulate evidence?
Okay.
Because your evidence would be in this case, in the case of the evidence in the creator, and that a lot of it is not going to be as quantifiable on paper. I've lived quite a few years, and I've had quite a few very, very life-changing experiences. So again, it's personal way of getting through it, not it's faith. It's having faith.
All right, so I'll read the actual definition here of faith. And says 1, an allegiance to duty or a person, so loyalty. Fidelity to one's promises, the sincerity of intentions. This is number 2. Belief and trust in and loyalty to God. Belief in the traditional doctrines of a religion. Firm belief in something for which there is no proof. Complete trust. Something that is believed, especially with strong conviction, especially a system of religious beliefs. So there's sort of two.
So yeah, something that can't be proven, I heard was in there, or has no proof. It said.
So aside from the fidelity, the faithfulness issue of faith, and going back to the other definition, could you define it without the word belief or believe? How many times did they use it in that definition?
So digging into the etymology, the meaning
every time.
Right. Belief meant
complete trust
in God. Faith meant loyalty to a person based on their promise, their duty, their
well,
history.
that's the faithfulness.
Up until about the 14th century.
I don't think you need faith to believe in a creator at all. You can know it.
How?
You can have faith in your loved one that you're betrothed to. You can have faith in the society around you. I mean, it doesn't have to be religion. Faith.
Right. Exactly. I believe that to be true. I have faith that is true. I'm just not sure what the difference in having faith that it's true or believing that it's true, how that would be different. And this is all just really a semantical argument in relation to the way that so many religions, Christianity especially, put so much stock in having faith. As in, having faith is such a good thing, and we should all have faith. We should all just believe.
Yeah.
And I have faith.
And there is then that big bold line between, I guess not between having faith and knowing a thing, but in both being able to have faith in something and also knowing other things and being able to differentiate that which you know versus that which you only have faith in believing is true. I don't know. Just weird shit in my brain.
It's the same word. You're right. It is the same word. Belief and faith are pretty much the same word. So they use a sentence here, clinging to the faith that her missing son would one day return. And you could just swap it out for belief. Cling to the belief that her missing son would one day return.
And that's just sort of, and again, is my point. I think people draw that distinction between the two, and I really don't know that there is much, with the as long as you're using it in the same context and in the same grammar. I mean, granted, if you're using it as a noun versus a verb, but
cool.
And I get where Cami's coming from. I'm the same way. I have a internal knowing, but at the end of the day, that's nothing more than a belief. Like, I can't prove it to myself, let alone prove it to anybody else. It's just an internal knowing. But an internal knowing, again, is nothing more than that belief. If people might share that belief, and they might also have a similar or even identical internal knowing. But if you're talking about something that is unknowable, such as God, or, I mean, it's just, having somebody argue with you about what happens after death because they know.
Yeah. The God thing, the unknowable God thing is definitely, it's part of some of mainly the Buddhist religions, really, where they sort of don't have a name for it, whatever it is, and they can't put it into some sort of personification or context because it's outside. And generally it's seen as something that is timeless and eternal because of that, because we are in the world of change. We're in something that is temporal and it keeps changing, whereas the creator itself is outside of time, non-temporal, eternal. So
that's why they were able to get away with all this stuff. The heliocentric model, because it is so eternal. The sun always comes around. It's always doing the same thing. It's not changing the stars. It doesn't change like our lives do down here. Yeah, it's from a different realm, different dimension, if you want.
It still works on the flat Earth cosmology, but they just didn't have the sun as that central pivot point.
Mm-hmm.
They had the world axis as that central pivot point, which was the one, the mountain, the stone, and so many different personifications of that world axis.
At the tree of life.
Tree of life, exactly. Yeah. And so that was the stable point in the flat Earth model, that all the planets and everything and the spiral of the stars or the movement of the stars revolved around. So it was that firm foundation that held the world together.
Yeah, I like that.
And Kimmy, I wasn't trying to pick on you.
Get him, Cami.
Oh, I wasn't feeling pushed on at all. I was enjoying it. I was going to say that, because they were saying you would make a good prosecutor, and I was going to say I could even make it a lot worse for myself, because I could sit there and argue the semantics of, well, what I'm calling faith might even be better called as a feeling, but if you even took it down to feeling, saying you feel there's a God as opposed to you have faith there's a God or believe there's a God, it even sounds weaker still. Like if you're going to make the argument. But again, it's not a detail, it's something, it's a huge feeling. How do you, not having the right words for it, knowing it in your vocabulary?
Well, one of the other things in recovery that I was told many, many times, facts are not feelings. And feelings are not facts, because facts will remain the same, but your feelings are going to change.
Okay, so that's where I was separating faith and belief, though, is because, again, the faith in that is going to be at a level that, again, a lot of it is, again, I wouldn't expect it to. I wouldn't put it in a courtroom. It's internal. It's not. It doesn't need to be. I don't care what other people would think about it. So that would be again, a non-argument. It wouldn't be something to say, when I put something as even faith and taking a leap in faith and doing that, again, these would be your internal and on a very personal level that I don't think would hold up, again, as far as reasonable, or I wouldn't need it to make that criteria. Does that make sense at all?
Yeah.
I'm putting it, again, in a very broad context on the things, but let's say you took a leap of faith on somebody and did something really nice for them, or that, and
so
we're doing that. You took
that would require a risk.
Leap of faith.
Then that's what the leap of faith is, right? It's a risk. That's why it's called the leap of faith. But you're going to take that risk with the knowledge that it's going to come out. Then it wouldn't really be a leap of faith. If you knew the outcome, then it's not a leap of faith. You have to believe that the outcome is going to be one thing or another, because you have to act without knowing. So you have to act with that belief. So again, it's still just a leap of belief, because you believe the outcome that you're going to experience is going to be a certain thing. Even though you don't know what it is, you have to have the belief that it's going to be what you want, and you'd have to then take that leap of faith.
Okay, so you call that like that little voice inside of you, but you go to court and talk about that little voice inside of you, and you're crazy.
Right.
I mean, that's
because
schizophrenic, or again. But so again, you separate the legalities and the things. So I was separating it, saying that sometimes, like again, right or wrong, or that in a court of law, or the nuances wouldn't come out, and when you're talking about putting vocabulary and different things to encompass that. So I would split it, but I would say faith probably isn't a good word, and feelings isn't for sure the right word, and neither is belief. So I don't know. I have a really, really thick dictionary. I could look. I'm sure the word exists. Anyone?
Sorry, I got nothing. I know what you're talking about, though.
Right. Again, you give me the right thing. You give me the right phrases I'm trying to, grasp about.
I've got an example.
What's up,
we
Lev?
took faith.
What's up, Lev?
Hello, how are we doing? We took faith in the politicians and the scientists that told us that we lived on a globe, and then we believed that we lived on a globe. With the faith we put into the people, not the actual substance kind of matter and stuff like that. So like with stuff like God and stuff like that kind of thing, that's a faith in the entity. You know what I mean? Is faith on his word and all that kind of stuff, like, or her. You know what I mean? Him and her. It's probably two, you know what I mean, and stuff like that. So another aspect of things is like the fairy culture. It's like, if you don't believe, you know what I mean? So it's like it's mixing the word believe with faith almost in a sense and stuff like that. It's taking that leap in that kind of sense, because like you gotta believe it without that evidence, haven't you? You know what I mean? And it's like you're not going to have that experience without that belief and stuff like. So if you believe that people live on after death and stuff like that, you're much more likely to see spirits and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, so whatever the subject matter is, really, apart from globe narrative and stuff like that, if you see a UFO, you might believe that you saw a thing from outer space, but it's not really the outer space that we were kind of taught and stuff like that kind of thing, is it? And most likely it came from Earth anyway, like already like a nature spirit or something like that kind of thing, or even military, you know what I mean, stuff like. There's so many different things and stuff. But
I just saw something about this black smoke rings in the sky. People have been putting up videos of these black smoke rings, and it's always around like Disney or some kind of large amusement park that uses the big pyrotechnics, like the 6-inch mortars, like the giant ones. And if the weather is real calm and all that, it's like making a smoke ring with your cigarette. You can, as long as the wind's not blowing and stuff, you can make a smoke ring with your cigarette that'll go up in the air and stay there for a while.
It's the best conservation of energy for the fumes and for smoke like that. That's how you can get them to travel and things. That toroidal motion through the air is the absolute best way to conserve and use the energy that you put into that ring. It's crazy.
But yeah, a lot of people have been saying, "Oh, it's aliens doing this. It's HARP. It's the Project Bluebeam." And this one guy comes up. It's like, nope, this is pretty common phenomena. If you know anybody in the world of pyrotechnics, they'll tell you this happens all the time. It's not a rare phenomena by any means. Usually it'll be windy though. A little gust of wind will destroy them. But sometimes if it's just nice and perfectly calm and there is no turbulent atmosphere, that smoke will rise up, pretty high into the sky and get pretty big, because it's a 6-inch. It'd be like a 6-inch cigarette, wide cigarette. But yeah, it's things like that.
And I want to also, with you, Lev, because I'm curious, because I want to reel it back to the etymology and the words things on it. Because listening to how you use faith in NASA, again, with the issue with our English language, and I think it's by design, is these words have so many different meanings. So with NASA, you're saying that we had faith that everything they tell us is true in that. But this is somewhere along the lines, very like from what we can see from CGI videos, and that this is a intentional lie. So in other words, it's not that we had faith in them, it's just that we didn't have any reason, or we're born anticipating the best. To maybe that's again, some of our weak comings is we come accepting why would they lie to us, so we accept it as not a lie, but there's a lot of effort in putting in a lie. So having faith in everything they say and everything, it's different than a faith in a God where, again, with NASA and these, you feel that there's been so much intentional deception. So saying that you had faith in them and using that in the same context of we have faith in, it's like a whole different word to me.
Yeah.
And yet they're
Like
both used
having faith in
correctly.
a postman.
Right. It's both correct usage of the word, but when you have a word that's got so many different, as he goes down all the different definitions, or the way that you did, it completely changes meaning, and it's by design. I almost feel when we look at the language that you can use it one way and then have it argued another way and come up with circular arguments and different things going around that are going to go nowhere.
I wonder if it's changed, like the word faith. Like maybe it did actually just mean loyalty back in the day, and so when they said have faith in God, it means you have
Yeah, it wasn't
be
until the
loyal
15th
to,
century that it started being godly and it just based.
you know, but be loyal to God. That would be have faith with God or whatever, you know, in God, rather than this idea that it's belief. I don't know. Just throwing that in there.
Yeah, I mean, you could not have faith in God, but still know He exists.
Or even believe that He exists. Right?
Yeah,
Just not put
you believe He
any faith in it.
exists,
Just
but
put-
you put no faith in Him.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I get that.
And I don't hear George Michael's faith anymore when I hear it.
Nope.
I hear Limp Bizkit's
Same.
always.
As much as I hate fucking Fred Durst, he's in
hear
my
you.
head.
Yeah, he's a dickhead. Full blown.
Okay, faith, by the way, derived from Latin, fidus, an old French fide, is confidence or trust in a person, thing, or concept. So then they'll say in the context of religion, it means this. In the context of you're going to stages of faith development. So it started off just meaning confidence.
Yeah.
And then as every different nuance took on, like there are many of it, they nuanced it to go towards what they're looking at. So again, if you have
with
faith,
language,
having
man.
having faith in a religion is very different than having faith in God.
It's as fluid as the air. Language.
Right.
Yeah, it's
Exactly.
it's liquid. It really is.
It really
and
is.
just
I've
changes.
Watched so many words change through my lifetime, and just watch them completely change meanings.
Yeah.
And I don't even give a shit, except that I use both words. And I use them interchangeably, and I don't always mean them interchangeably when I'm using them. It's weird. I don't know. My brain was stuck something on, again, Zach, you mentioned Bob and his preponderance of evidence. Where was it? Something with the difference between evidence and proof and how it was relating to faith, belief, and knowing. Proof, when you have proof of something, that's the knowledge, right? Because there's a difference between having evidence and having proof. Like I can walk in and see evidence that somebody broke into my house, or I could walk in and find the guy there and have proof of who did it. So there's a big difference between just having evidence that a thing is true or having proof that it is true. That's why it's important to have that preponderance of evidence, because you can't always have proof. All you can do is keep building that preponderance of evidence.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I got fingerprints, I got DNA, I got this, I got that. Don't have a picture of this person doing this crime. I don't have any eyewitnesses, but I have all this preponderance of evidence that puts this person here at this exact time.
And you can say, I believe that this would add to that preponderance of evidence for a thing to be true. And I believe that this adds to the preponderance of evidence for this thing to be true, but I'm not sure that even with this preponderance of evidence, but I have faith that after all these things that I believe to be true, I have faith that it's going to be true. Or I believed my parents when they told me space was real, so I just had faith that NASA was telling me the truth when they said the ISS was up into space. NASA didn't tell me anything. I just had faith that when I saw it, there was no like personal interaction. There was no real energy or effort put forth. I just had faith that it was there. Whereas belief has that act that's involved, like ignorance. You're actually ignoring a thing. There's an action involved in being ignorant. You have to physically and actively be ignoring something. And maybe that's the same thing. Having belief and faith. One requires an actual personal interaction. Somebody says it and you have belief or you don't have belief. And then you have what your presumptions and assumptions based on that belief would be the faith that you put into that belief. I don't know. I've taken this whole down way fucking rabbit hole that didn't need to go
The
down.
only thing NASA's ever told you, Josh, was that they were the chosen ones, right?
Well, I mean, I like
that
it.
lady claimed she was from NASA. I don't know if she actually was.
And maybe she wasn't, but why the hell? I don't know. I don't know. It just seems strange of all the, I don't know.
Why am I looking at a bunny when you talk?
Because everybody should look at bunnies. That's my Easter bun. That was the bunny.
What do they call you now? What are you? A people who take care of rabbits?
Bunny dad? Or bunny parents?
Bunny parents?
Uh-huh. As opposed to, like, you don't own them. If you have one for a while, you soon realize it's not like you have a pet, right?
You're a slave now.
You're a slave now, right? You are help. You've become the help, and the bunny runs the house, and you just do your entire life surrounds the bunny, and that's just the way it is.
I feel like that with my children. To tell you the truth,
it's about the only. It's the best. It's almost a really good correlation. Like if you wanted if your wife's gonna have empty nest syndrome once they're all gone, get her a bunny, and teach her how to properly care for it. And once that bunny bonds, it's fucking insane. Insane. The joy and excitement that rabbits bring to a life. Absolutely love it. Everybody should get out there and adopt a rescued bunny. People take domestic bunnies and be like, oh, I don't want a bunny anymore. I'll just put them outside because it's a rabbit, right?
Yeah, that don't work.
No, it doesn't work. Like the bunny that you see in my avatar could not breed with a wild rabbit. They are so far genetically separated that they couldn't even make babies together. They might look alike.
Yeah, right, okay.
Like the white bunny gets sunburned. The white bunny doesn't have anything to protect its fur from water or moisture. Once it gets wet, that thick ass fur, it'll stay wet for weeks. It doesn't have a wax or an oil coating in there that will repel water. Like if it gets rained on, if it gets wet, it just stays wet for weeks, literally. You have to be real careful about getting them wet because they just don't dry. Try taking a hairdryer to a bunny. Good luck.
And they have no sense of predator.
Oh, well, I mean, they do, but they don't have a real good sense of like where to get water, where to go, where to run, where to hide. I mean, they have an idea. There are prey animals, so they've got that instinct. When they see a shadow pass over them, they will freak it fuck out because that could be anything. Predators come down from above to get them. That's why all the alpha bunnies are the bunnies at the bottom of the pile. It's not like they sit on top of the pile of bunnies and that's the head bunny. No. The head bunny's at the bottom. Everybody else is
safe.
Safe. Everybody else gets to be feed for the hawks until they finally get to the bottom one. But I absolutely have become a bunny guy. Somehow over the last year or so, I've become a bunny guy. A little over a year, I guess.
I know Nemo's got a couple pugs. If you need something small to love on.
I can send you some cats as well. So speaking of, they're underfoot. It is 7 o'clock. I was say it must be close to feeding time. We're actually 30 minutes late. So hey, Lucas, you got a new tune to play for us? So I would take a quick copy and feed the bunnies and kittens. Right. Not
He
to put you on
says,
the
Digging.
spot or anything.
not to put you on the
I
spot.
see you looking. I see you looking.
He's looking.
Here we
Yeah.
are.
I know. Well,
He's got a list there. Like, which one do I play? Nope, you're muted, Lucas.
I just I can put one on that was on a video that I last did. That was all right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah.
You'd probably have to share your screen and then share your sound from this screen
Yeah,
share.
make sure you share the sound.
Okay,
the
let me
video
just get this
quality and all
going.
that crap.
Hold on. It's pretty chill tune, you know.
What's your time? How long is
It's 4 minutes
Ooh,
and 7
perfect.
seconds.
it? I love it.
Yeah,
I
but I
found-
haven't been making this sort of music for a while. I've actually got some different sort of gear, and I've been making dub techno, which is just completely different, you know.
That's awesome, man.
Uh,
Yeah, you can't keep doing the same old thing. Gets boring.
Yeah, well, it was me trying to be a band, and I just like I can't really take this myself just out to show anyone or put on a concert or anything like that. But with this new setup, it's like a DJ sort of setup, if you like, doorless. I can actually put on a show and get people dancing, and so that's
Heck yeah. Nice.
yeah, give people a good time. That's what I'm trying to do.
So burn your DAWs and go DAWless, I guess, is the moral of the story.
Yeah, well, a DAW is like
Digital.
like the computer program where you have you put all your music into the computer program, and I just like I don't want a computer. I don't trust them. I don't want to handle it or have it playing my music.
Okay.
So I went DAW-less, which means it's basically the units that are in a box with a synthesizer and a few other things, but they don't need a computer. And I'm like, this is awesome.
Sweet.
So,
I'm excited to hear.
but this is just a music I made for a video that I did, and it's just real chilled for background music basically. So let's go.
I'm afraid he may not have shared his sound when he shared his screen.
And he left.
No, he's still here.
He said, Lucas.
Did you by chance click the little share sound box when you shared your screen? You click share screen. Underneath, you'll see a little checkbox that says share sound. Something you're also muted. To make matters worse.
Okay, sorry, I'm getting there.
No worries.
No rush. We've still got lightning bugs. They're
Really?
not
Okay, hear that?
abundant. No.
Oddly. Where is it? Should be at the very bottom lower left-hand corner. It should say share sound.
Yep. Try that now.
Yeah,
Yep.
there it is.
Okay, cool.
Very nice.
Sweet.
Thank you, Lucas.
I was jamming, dude.
I was banging my head all through the house. Yeah, I had my headset going with me.
Thanks, guys.
So how long does it take to put together something like that?
Oh, it doesn't take too long to actually record it in, but fiddling around to try and get it sounding good takes me a long time.
Playing
That
with
is
it.
exactly me as well, sir. Whenever I try to make a song happen or whatever, like just anything, just doing a demo, a pick thing, anything on the whatever I use. I can't remember the name of it. Cakewalk. There's so many bells and whistles, and it's just like, where do you stop fiddling? You know?
I am faster at it now because I've been playing around with the tools for so long. So
Yeah, you get in your groove. You know which ones you like, which ones you don't even touch ever.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. What to pull out, like what frequencies to manipulate. You have to sort of. The main one's basically, what frequencies to take out and leave in and get it to sound nice together, because you don't want the guitars mixing in with the bass too much, so you have a really clear sound.
And somebody that can do that, that's the difference of having your band sound like they do on their album when they're live, or not having that guy and the band sounding like a garage band pretty much.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, when I saw Pearl Jam the first time, there was like 90 people running around carrying all this crap, and then there's like 5 people on soundboards changing shit for every single song. Yeah, I stood there, and because there was like a break at like the 20-yard line, and there was like all those people right there, and then they had the like giant mosh pit area in front of that I wasn't even going to try to go into. But yeah, I was stood like right there at that gate, and it was insane the amount of people they had working on just sound and the stuff they were doing like during the songs, even just changing everything. Yeah, there's so much work that goes into it.
So you have to forgive my ignorance. Sorry, real quick, Lucas. Just maybe you can help me out here. I can understand when you have a dance floor that's really packed and people are trying to dance, and pretty soon you're dancing too close and you're bumping into each other and a fight breaks out. I get that. I've seen that. Even on a dance floor that's not crowded. But could somebody here, or maybe in chat, explain to me what the fuck a mosh pit's all about? I guess I can even understand
the releasing
appeal
of anger can better any medicine under the sun. Phil Anselmo, 1995. I mean, that's really what it is. It's like you're in a society that has beaten you down with fucking bullshit for work, bunch of bills, fucking aggravating wife, whatever it is that's got you so pissed off at the world. You want to go punching people, but you really don't. You don't want to hurt somebody. So you get in a group with a bunch of people who are all agreeing that we're going to help each other. Because if you're in a mosh pit where people are actually getting hurt, then that's a bunch of fucking assholes who need to get their asses kicked.
Yeah.
Mosh pit is like you get the people out of the way and nobody gets hurt. Somebody goes down, you help them up. Yeah, you may catch a nosebleed. You may catch a broken lip.
Shit happens.
It happens.
It's wrestling with your buddies, kind of.
Like if you see somebody start swinging, that dude usually gets taken out really quick. And this is the old school mosh pits I used to be in back in Metallica, Megadeth, Suicidal Tendencies. Yeah, those days.
Stanford Prison
These
Experiment.
days, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
That's the only mosh pit I ever went in.
Yeah, I don't know about today either.
I've seen him just windmilling both arms. Just a group of guys just throwing haymakers.
Well, like I said, those are the dudes that need to get their asses kicked, and they usually do. That's just the part of the video you didn't see get posted. Oh, they got handled. Trust me.
And what are you supposed to do? You can't really dance to rock music. Let's face it. You can't sort of. It's jump up and down, move your head.
And it was so great going to these concerts where it would be the opening act that I knew already was going to destroy shit. Like when we went to see Queensryche for the fucking Empire tour, they had Suicidal Tendencies opening for them. And I'm trying to tell this bunch of yuppie kind of people that I was going to it with from college. I'm like, hey guys, This opening band is not anything like Windsrake. And when they open up, what's going to happen is there's going to be a big hole open up, and there's going to be dudes running around, and they're going to be kind of knocking each other and all that. You know, get her out of there. You don't need to be in there. And if you want to get in it, just be safe and don't hurt somebody on purpose, or you will get your ass kicked. You know. And dude, it's as soon as they hit the stage, it went nuts. And I never did understand until way later that they had Q Prime both as their managers, how that little conglomeration of disparate acts got on stage in the same venue. It was nuts. But yeah, you know, you go see Megadeth and man, who was that crazy band that opened for them? Tomahawk or somebody like that? Oh yeah, it was just crazy stuff. Yeah, back in the day. But I haven't been to a mosh pit since like probably And Justice for All, or maybe Rust in Peace, probably the last era where I felt that I needed to be moshing. I pretty much worked my stuff out and didn't need that anymore after a certain age. You know, you stop beating up your car, you stop punching.
Start going to see Jimmy Buffett. Like that.
Chill. Smoke some indica instead of some sativa. You know, you chill out.
Or black socks and sandals.
I don't know about that. Quite that. Yeah.
Are you making fun of me?
I'm getting there. Getting there.
I don't know. Do you wear black socks and sandals?
Yeah, I got pants on usually.
Then yes, I'm making fun of you.
I'll go out there and do that. Yeah, I don't care.
Why are you wearing socks and sandals? Is my question.
It's cold out. I didn't feel
Why
like
the
putting
fuck are you
shoes
wearing
on.
sandals?
I didn't feel like putting shoes on. That's what the socks are for.
It's a little too much trouble to reach down and put a sock over, or a shoe over your foot. So as your solution, you reach down and put a sock over your foot. Is that right?
Well, the socks are already on because it's cold.
And it's not that cold because you're between sandals and shoes, and so you don't want to overheat. You just want to like not get the bottom of your foot wet and you know.
And
I do the same. I actually do. I've always done the socks with the sandals.
But it takes a little bit of like maneuvering of the socks to get the sandal in there, or the thong bit in there.
Or even a flip flop.
Yeah,
yeah, that's uncomfortable as hell.
Yeah, I don't do flip flops.
We call them thongs.
Yeah, here in the
Wrong
US,
word.
thong is something else.
Yeah, exactly.
What's a thong? Oh, never.
Call it a T-bar also. There's several different names.
What's a thong?
Whale tail.
In Australia, a
Whale
thong
tail,
is
baby.
like sandal or a flip flop. Yeah.
Yes, Rico, that is correct. Rico just want to pick. Did I get the year right? That didn't feel right. 95 felt too late. I think it was more like 93, 92, something like that. Tell me, Rico, what's up?
For which one? Suicidal tendency.
Quote.
Oh,
No, it was
Pantera.
Pantera, yeah. Mouth for War. The releasing of anger can better any medicine under the sun.
Well, yeah, it depends on what if you're angry, you have scurvy. I just eat some oranges instead of trying to beat people up.
Is that it? Scurvy?
Well, I just had like a heap of orange juice, so definitely not angry.
I'm drinking lemonade. Does that count?
Blueberry lemonade, baby. I love this stuff.
Fucking A, that's my top job. Right now they are out of it at my local little store. I had to go with their strawberry.
I hadn't seen it in forever. This is the first time I saw it, and I was like,
Yeah, it's been
wow,
out here.
blueberry lemonade. Good stuff. I haven't seen cherries in forever. Got on a cherry kick, and then all of a sudden they're poof, gone. No cherries anymore.
I'll have to ask Paul. They do that. Well, he used to do that a lot.
And I know,
Every year they'd
like,
go to the
some fruits
place
are
and pay a
seasonal.
price to go pick till you got sick, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, some fruits, like back in the day, used to be a lot more seasonal, but nowadays it seems like you can get almost every fruit because it's in season somewhere on Earth. So, yeah.
They can pick it early enough that they can ship it when it's still underripe, and then ripen it when it gets here to make it look like you can eat it. And it's,
But it's weird. Like cherries, it's been...
Cherries don't travel though, you know.
No.
We get them around Christmas time here. and it's just like, yeah, they're sort of there for Christmas and gone. Plus, as soon as they're like tasting good, they're gone. Anyway, we just hoover them down, you know.
Yeah, but like pineapple is always here. And it's like crazy how much goes into a pineapple and how much room one pineapple plant takes up. Have you ever looked into those numbers? It's insane. The pineapple plant makes one pineapple, and it takes up a good amount of space, and it takes over a year to fully.
Yeah, exactly. That's
insane. And we have pineapple all year round, just full pineapples sliced up. You know, our produce always has pineapple. Like, where's all this land to make all these pineapples?
Hawaii.
That's a lot of pineapples.
They can grow all the time.
I couldn't
'cause it's
unmute
tropics.
fast enough. That is what they do over there. It's pretty nuts when you see the amount of the thing that they do the farming for that. Because I used to wonder too how they did that. I tried to grow one. In fact, I've got another one growing right now. See what happens. Hold on, I had lost my link.
You ever try growing
So
anything,
Liz,
Lev?
yeah, oops, I'm sorry.
Yeah, but I haven't got a garden, so it's not been very fruitful. You know, like chilies and winter and stuff like that kind of thing. We've not done. You know, been there about for a year. You know what I mean? So we've got quite a fixed stem now and stuff like that. But you still just get a few little leaves on it and stuff like that. So it's not very good really. But my brother used to have a garden. You know, I mean, in a conservatory as well, and he used to grow. His peppers were brilliant in conservatory and stuff like. But sometimes, like, I don't know, like I've planted an apple tree outside and stuff like that kind of thing. It didn't take though, which is a shame. Stuff like that kind of thing. I grew it indoors and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, so it had a year, and then I took it out, and then it just
that sucks. Yeah, I had an apple tree die on me. Yeah, it sucks because you put a lot of love into those, you know.
Yeah. It's if it worked, it would have been good and stuff like that. Somebody said that, something about like grafting them and stuff like that, and I've not done my research on that kind of stuff and that. But I planted it next to the river, so like the apples would have like fallen off and floated down the river and stuff like that to plant more trees and all that kind of stuff. Like, and it's like if we all did that, you know what I mean, a successful planting, look how fruitious we'd be as a country. You know what I mean. We wouldn't have to rely on so many things in that kind of sense and stuff. Like, that's just apples. Like, there's so much more we can plant, you know what I mean, which we can just have an abundance of food from and stuff like. The council would probably rip them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean, but
yeah, they don't want a lot of free food out there. I was just saying, yeah, they don't want the free food out there. They just don't want. They want you to pay for it.
I know. Well, it's really crap as well. It's like what they offer and stuff like that. I bought some apples last week, and I've got a pet parrot. So, you know, I mean, I chopped it in half. If I didn't have parrot, I would have just bite into it and stuff like. But with parrot and stuff like, because I split it in half, and you can, you know, like when your carrots just turn to liquid after a couple of days. It's kind of like forming these patterns. It's like part of the apple will like its white area, you know what I mean, and stuff like, and part of that area will like becoming like translucent, like it had been frozen or, you know, I don't know.
That's
it's
weird.
Like something to do with GMO. Yeah. It's like it's.
Yeah, they
it's
just
like,
store them for ages. That's what happens. Yeah, and they taste like rubbish.
Yeah, it looks like it'll like turn to suddenly become overripe really fast, like the carrots do or whatever and stuff like. But yeah, it's a shame. You know,
Isn't there something that they'll store them in the containers? They'll like put it in CO2 gas, or they'll put some sort of gas inside the shipping containers.
Yeah,
to ship the fruit.
Mm-hmm. Like tomatoes, especially. That's why I said you can pick them green, your tomatoes, and you can ship them, and then pump the CO2 gas in the truck mid-shipment. And by the time they get to the destination, they look ripe. They're red, but they're still real hard and crunchy and underripe. But the CO2 has caused them to redden up. So they look like they're ready to go. Then that makes them shelf stable, and they will hold on the shelf as a red tomato for weeks. Or maybe not weeks, but several days.
I bought some plums a few weeks ago. Right, nice weather and stuff like that. And I thought, they're big, really juicy and all these kind of things and stuff like. And it was a big pun in it, so like it's just like ripen at home and stuff like that. So I thought, take a few days and then they'll be all right. You know what I mean? And they'll probably last a while as well. I've still got them, and they're going off now. Actually, you know what I mean? I'm on the verge of it, kind of thing. Like, but they're still hard. You know what I mean? It's like. Yeah, it's just a waste of money, like nearly £2, like, you know what I mean, and stuff. So, apples would have wasted money. They would have wasted money. Isn't it? Bananas I seem all right, you know what I mean, and stuff. But no, I don't know. We should all be doing it ourselves, shouldn't we? You know what I mean?
And apples you can keep for a long time. And there's certain pears. There's one that grows up in the U.S. here. They call it a winter pear. Because you could take them and they'd lay down hay and then put a row of pears down and then lay down more hay and a row of pears. And these certain pears would keep all winter long pretty much. As long as it stayed cold and out of sunlight. There couldn't be any sunlight that hit them and the pears wouldn't rot away. So yeah, there's so much we could be doing, to actually make good, healthy, clean fruit last longer. But they don't want that. They want,
There's so much more with it as well, because it's like, if you stop buying all this produce, right, and there's so many ready-made meals, you know what I mean, with a microwave or we have option for oven and stuff like that kind of thing quite often as well. But it's like you're relying on them to make all your food for you. You know what I mean? It's like a prearranged meal, and usually if you buy them, it's not a proper meal in terms of like I feel like I've had a full meal. You know what I mean? I feel full.
No, it's all little tiny portions.
Small, yeah. It's like you need 2 at least or something like that kind of thing, like to But the more you rely on that, you know what I mean, the more they will go that way, and they're pushing it because like I said with fruit and veg, it's kind of like it's become less need to buy it. You know what I mean? So you are likely to go for all that kind of pre-supplied, pre-prepared, and all these kind of things and stuff. And like as that becomes like once they are obsolete, all fruit and veg and stuff, and you are relied on them, then that's it. They can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? They can put whatever replacement or artificial potato, you know what I mean, or whatever they've put in it and stuff like. And then you're like, because like all this artificial stuff, it's not got all the enzymes that fruit and veg has and stuff like that kind of thing that you get from plants and stuff like. So like a pineapple, it's got an enzyme in it which kind of decongest your nose, which will unblock your ears and all these kind of things and stuff like. And for an enzyme to do that, you know what I mean, all you have to do is eat a pineapple and that's it, And the same with loads of different things, like garlic's really good and stuff like that kind of thing like. But where else could we get that from? You know what I mean? I went to doctors about like with blocked nose and stuff like that kind of thing like this months ago. But they gave me this stuff to squirt up there, right? And I read all things on it and stuff like it says side effects can cause cataracts. You know what I mean? It's like what just take my eyes out, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
For all they knew, it could have just disappeared over a couple of weeks, you know what I mean?
Yeah, eat some pineapple.
They'd rather you have like cataracts and then you're going back to the doctors, aren't you? So I threw that away.
That's another visit in their pocket, right?
Yeah. And well, loads of stuff. I did a lot of looking at things and like herbs and I don't know what right now. Nettle being like 300% more vitamin C than oranges. But then there were like other ones. I can't remember what the other ones were, but they were like 6,000% more or whatever and stuff like.
Rose hips. I know rose hips. I think are just ridiculously of concentrated vitamin C.
See, that's what I mean. It's like you don't need that much food in that kind of sense. Then you
can find this stuff everywhere. Like up north, we don't have oranges, that grow, but there are other plants that we don't take advantage of at all. Sumac. Everybody hears sumac and they think, oh, that's poison. Well, no, there's two different types of sumac. There's poison sumac, which is pretty much eradicated in North America. There's not that many of them left because people don't, let them live. And that's a white berry. And then there's your just sumac tree, which has more vitamin C than oranges or lemons or limes. And it's this red, fuzzy looking berries. And the Indians taught us how to use it. It's pink lemonade. It was the first style of pink lemonade. You just burn all the hairs off of it over like in an oven for just a little while. And then you put it in the sun with some ice water in some cheesecloth and let it sit there. And then you pull out that cheesecloth and boom, you have pink lemonade. So we can get this stuff everywhere. It's not like we have to have oranges shipped up north because, they don't grow up north. You can get your vitamin C just about everywhere. Yeah, Liz is saying nettles have loads of vitamin C in them.
That's what Love was saying. I didn't even realize.
Bit better, isn't it?
Wow, look at that. We've been joined again.
Hey, Nemo.
Now, do you want to go through this
mic
app
check.
real quick?
Yes, I was on here to partition in Liz's behalf.
Oh, okay. All right. Is that all right, Josh?
What am I looking at? Is what I read.
Do you want me to show some of this app before everyone gets a bit...
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I know Liz is getting tired. It's got to be getting late. Almost, 12:30, 1:30. Jeez, Liz, you party animal.
Now, I can rant on this for a long time, so just pull me up whenever. But we'll just go through the basics of it.
All right, I'm trying to pull mine up. Catching up, right?
So have you guys had a look at it or played with it at all?
I've looked at it.
I
haven't had
have.
a chance to play
I
with
have,
it
yeah,
much.
I did. I looked at it and went, God damn, what is this, man? Go.
Okay, so it's a 364-day calendar that converts back and forth between the Gregorian calendar. So the main thing that you see when you open up the app is this clock face, and it has 3 different hands on it. So the orange hand will point to the months. It'll tell you what month you are in the 13th month calendar. So it goes from 1 around to 13. And then the next hand is the red or pink hand, and that will tell you where you are in the month. So one's for the year, one's for the month, and this one will tell you what day you're in and where you are in the month. So its circle goes from 1 right around to 28. And it's basically got 4 weeks in it. So it'll start with the Monday, or the first will be the Sunday, goes around till the 7th, and then it will start again. So there'll be 4 different weeks, and that complete circle will create a month. The blue hand is just a 24-hour clock. So we've got the year, the month, and the hours. You come down just underneath it, and this will give you the converted date. So this gives it to you in the 364-day calendar. So for this, where it is positioned now, it will be the 23rd of the 6th month, 2023. So down further here, you can actually input, you open up the calendar and the time, and you can input what date you want to convert over. So you're in your 360 your Gregorian calendar, and you can pick what day you're on, or a birthday, or whatever it is, and then you punch that in and you press the convert button, and the date in the 364-day calendar will show up above. This little button on the side of this will reset it to the current time and day. You
So-
go down to the
Oh,
Yep.
Can I just ask a question? So one's
Yeah.
364, 365. Does that keep eventually throwing? Will that throw it off eventually? Like,
yeah, the day will be different, as in it's a Monday or a Tuesday. It will be different to the Gregorian calendar. And yeah, even the year, just because I started the calendar on the 1st of April rather than the same time as the Gregorian. I have a few different reasons for that, but
okay.
it will be off. But just to be clear, the 364-day calendar is still still has 365 days in the year. So you're not changing the length of the year. You can't change the
Okay.
length of
Yeah,
the
that's
year.
what I was asking right there. The length of the year. If
Yeah,
that
so you-
would be okay.
So what it is like you can't divide 365 easily. It's dividable by 73 and 5, and that's it, or 1. So it's very difficult to make an actual calendar that's useful out of that. So what you do instead is go, well, if I just remove one day out of the calculations and have it still there, but just as a rest day, now I have 364 days. Now I have something that's actually divisible. And now then
Yeah,
you can break
it just
down
makes
into
more
the-
sense. It really does. And what
So-
is the third? Real quick, I just one more question.
Yeah,
What's
go.
the name of the 13th month?
I haven't put names on it for that reason. I had to make up a name. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know what to
There's
call
a
it. So I
13th
just had it.
constellation.
Yeah, I didn't really want it syncing like that, in a sense, calling it Aries and Gemini and all those sort of things. I just had it as simple numerical sort of values. There's still a correspondence to the sky, but
I think
when
that's
you're
a
doing
good idea. That's a smart idea, doing it that way.
so that was one of the reasons why I did it that I started it at the 1st of April, is because when you divide it through the sky, then you're only getting one sign that actually gets divided into 2, and that would be around the Scorpio area, where you'll have the claws is 1 month and the tail is 1 month. But if I moved it in any other place, it would divide the signs in more ways than just once. You know what I mean? It would have multiples that were actually sort of half divisions. So that's why I sort of started it there. Plus, it's nice to start a calendar in springtime.
Yeah, when the year starts, the new year really starts.
Well, it is. It really is, because it's the growing time. It's when you start getting out and planting and all the rest of it.
Okay, so
you
let me ask a pretty dumb and basic question here. Is it only for a conversion of a certain date? Like, it's not constantly going to convert the current day and time for you? You have to plug in these places in the app all the time? Or is it once you set it, it keeps it going? Or
Well, yeah, the wheel will tell you.
Yeah, it's just it really, for the first segment of this, that's all it does. It just converts it for you.
is whatever you plug in, it's going to convert. It's not actually keeping time on that calendar for you.
No, that's the next section.
Right. Okay. Okay.
You
Gotcha.
hit this button here.
I'm running too
the
fast.
Yeah, you're beating me to the punch. The calendar section here, so you hit the button and it goes into this calendar section, and you can see it's got 2 tabs. One's the 365 days, so that's your Gregorian calendar, and one's the 364-day calendar. So you can flip between the two, which ones you want to look at. So this is in the 365-day area. You've got an add event. So you can add in a reminder or a birthday or whatever you want, and it will show up on both calendars. So now it just gives you really the aim of this this app was to start getting people used to a different sort of calendar and getting them just playing with the idea and starting to move into it so they can keep track of both.
Well, I was born in
and-
the 13th month, so you could call it Zachary if you want.
Okay.
January,
Keep that in
February,
mind.
Zachary. You know, it has one of those Y's on it.
Now,
Just saying.
something that probably throwing people off is
Zacuary. I like it.
Just add
I've
the
got
U.
this. I've got this around in these numbers here from 1 to 12 are probably throwing people off because they think, oh, it must be 1 is January, 2 is February, and those sort of things. But that actually doesn't correspond with that. It's part of a different calendar that I'm still going to integrate if I get enough sales and can pay for it. So there'll be actually a lot more calendars that will be added, and so it'll be the 360-day calendar, and it has multiples, and also a 361-day calendar, and all of them act on the same principle: is that you're taking 5 days out for a 360-day calendar, and so that 5 days is now rest days, and you can place them around the year depending on how you want to do it. There's just little interesting things with this 13-month calendar that people probably may not be aware of. Like it relates to the hands. It relates to our alphabet in certain ways. It has sort of the way it works is that the dates don't shift. You can see here, this is a Gregorian calendar. You know, it's April 2022. And so we're looking at the Friday and it's a first. So now we look at April 2023, so the next year, and the first is a Saturday. So, and then you go April 2024 and the first is now a Monday. So you're getting this shifting because it's not evenly calculated. You're getting a shift in where the days end up in relation to the number.
So
where you come
after
over,
a few years, it'll be shifting.
So yeah.
So
So
at the end of the year,
what happens if you're looking at the first month, which is April, is like I said, the calendar starts in April the 1st. So the first month of 2022 for the 364-day calendar is always a Sunday. First month in 2023
Wow.
is always a Sunday. So
wow.
That's what it does. It stops this shifting, and that when you place something and you say, I want to plant my tomatoes on a Saturday with the family, and you go, I want to do it at the right time, in alignment with, you know, the season, and it's always going to be a Saturday. So if everyone was actually using this as a workday week and everything like that, then everything would just start to mesh up much easier. And you wouldn't have this shifting, and you'd be going, oh, well, it's the 7th day, so it must be a Saturday. It's the 14th day or whatever. And you really can just lock in, and it's easy to calculate. So every Sundays are either the 1st, the 8th, or 15th, or a 22nd.
I like that. That would make life so much easier.
Yeah. And whereas ours, it's like, we don't know what a first is. It could be a Monday, it could be a Tuesday, it could be anything.
your birthday will always be on the same day as well, won't it? So if you're born the first, if you're born at first of the month, then your birthday would be always on Sunday.
Exactly.
If you're born at the second of the month, your birthday would always be on Monday. There's another aspect of looking at it, kind of thing, like.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this sense, we could have two birthdays, one on each calendar.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you can mesh it up like that. The only thing is like I started at an arbitrary sort of date, which was the 1st of April. So it's the real calendar is really, if you're looking at it like that, is actually looking at the sky. It's probably the best way to look at your birthday in that sense. numerically or energetically. There's also this correlation to the playing cards. You have 13 playing cards here, and each of those is a season with the Joker at the center. So 52 playing cards, and you have 52 weeks.
Wow.
And then obviously you have this the capital letters. You can walk your English alphabet inside it. You can do the cipher, the gematria that's related to it, and it's even sort of encoded in the actual. It just goes pretty deep, actually. So that's just another interesting aspect of it. And I was thinking, if I got to update the app, I could actually introduce like a card for each week, so you sort of knew where you are in the deck of cards, which would be pretty sweet.
So what's the story behind? I know this is going off topic a little bit, but you might know. Why are some months 31, 30? This one's 28, except for 29. Yeah, it makes no sense the way they did it. I was wondering if there's any rhyme or reason that they even gave for why it's set up the way they did it.
Not really. Like, even if you said, oh, it's part of the lunar calendar, and you could say it's 29 days and then 30 days, because it's 29 and a half days for a full movement of the moon. So they don't even have that. I don't know, because it's sort of like a mishmash of a bunch of calendars, and they've just like compressed them together and like, yeah, okay, that'll do, because you've got a 28-day month, and then you've got like, yeah, none of it.
Were they calendars from a bunch of different parts of the plane, and they decided, hey, let's try to make everybody happy and use this one calendar, so it'll kind of mesh all this stuff in together? No,
I don't know. I have no idea. Like, you can type it in and try and figure it out, but like, yeah, I have no idea. So you have like segments in your hand, and you have 12 on your fingers and another 2 on your thumb. So you've got 14 segments on each hand, and so 2 hands create a month. So you can sort of. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Triangular numbers show the calendar as well. So yeah, there's just a bunch of little cool little math things that sort of work into it and make it something more like something you could actually study or work through the calendar system. The 7 days as it relates to the seed of life and those sort of ideas. It's even when you use gematria on some of the stars, you can actually find that it's encoding the 364-day calendar and things like that. So it's just other stuff that people might be interested in that follow down this sort of little road. So these are some of the other calendars. This one's a 360-day calendar. It has. The reason I didn't start with these sort of calendars is because they have different lengths in weeks.
Wow, 8-day week.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
Is that where the Beatles pulled their song from? 8 days a week.
I don't know. Yeah, so the 364-day calendar is a 7-day week, and that's the only one that does it. And so that's why I use that. It was like much easier for people to wrap their heads around, like, rather than introducing something that says, oh, well, now you got to work with an 8-day week now. It drove you.
And I noticed only 3 seasons in that one as well.
Yeah, so this one's actually called the Fasty calendar, and it has 40-day month. And you sort of hear that sort of reference the 40 days in biblical sort of stuff. And the 3 seasons that relates to like some mythology with the 3 Horai and that sort of stuff. So I think this one was very much used back in the day. I think they all can be used on top of each other.
So 9 months.
No problem.
Is that where the original January, February, March, April, May, June, or is it June? Not one of them.
June, September, October, November, December.
And then they added August and July.
Well, human gestation, that would make sense. 3 seasons. I like the idea of 3 seasons and just summer and winter sort of running together and using autumn as like that overlap of late summer, early winter. I like that better than the fall. I really like that 360-day calendar.
It's really nice. Yeah, I like this one too. And the other thing it does, and you can see I've put it around the edge here. This is the Natra Shastras, or that's basically the moon calendar that they use in, it would be like a Hindu calendar, I think, or Indian calendar. So just the way that they divided it, they divide their moon calendar into 27 days. And so when you're dealing with 9, you can get that 27 pretty easily. So it's sort of like another further overlap that you can have both a sun calendar and a moon sort of cycle on the same sort of picture, if you like.
Yeah.
So
like
that one's cool. This one here is a 6-day week, and it's your 30-day calendar. So this is basically your normal 12 divisions. And this one is what you would use to actually view the zodiac properly, in a sense.
And then when the sun rests for those days or whatever, that's your days of rest.
Yeah. When I was figuring this out, where you place the rest days, so you have 5 rest days. So you would place one at the equinox, one at the vernal equinox, one at the autumnal equinox, and it was left with 3 days to do both the solstices. Now, if I put it down where in the winter had the 2 days of the winter, it would throw it out. It would not line up again with the equinoxes. So what you actually have to do is put 2 rest days at the summer solstice, which I found interesting. So, and then that would sort of equalize out to make sure that where these rest days land, they're actually right bang on with the equinoxes and the solstices.
Yeah, because doesn't the sun kind of stay as far north as it goes for about 2 days? I know it stays south for about 3 days, they say.
Okay.
From the winter solstice till the 25th, and then it starts coming back on the 25th, supposedly.
Well, you could do it that way too, where you have 2 rest days and three days down on the...
Just on the solstices without any rest on the equinoxes.
Yeah. You could do it that way. It's just, or you could just have it at the end of the year where you have like, we're having a
5 days
party.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But when you actually use this calendar and the way I was doing it, I was put up Stellarium and you would actually just count the days. And so when you count 30, it actually starts to divide the zodiac how it should actually be, because some of those zodiacal signs are actually too small and too big. They're not actually even. But when you do it this way, you actually say, okay, this is how it's supposed to be divided. Especially when you get around to Virgo and that, you'll see that Virgo is actually it is actually 2 signs because that's how big it is. But the top half of Virgo is Virgo, whereas her legs are actually Libra. So the 2 scales. And so that's where and you can see this, where they put the scales is actually where the pincers of the Scorpio are actually there. And you can see by the star names that that's correct as well. Anyway, that's some background information on that. This one's a 10-day, which is really cool too, because you have 5 rest days and you can just do it at spring, summer, autumn, winter. Well, I put it as pre-spring, but This more relates to something like the Chinese 5 elements. So then you have the 5 elements are the different times of year, which I think is pretty cool too.
Yeah, I've never seen it like that before.
Yeah. So that's a 9-day week. And the last one here, there is another one which is a division of 8, and that's a 45-day month. And so that's, I haven't got it on this one. This one's really a bit of an odd one, but it has significance because of the number 361. 361 is a special number because it's referring to a circle with a dot in the center. Like a compass, you put the point in the center, which was a 1, and then you do 360 degrees. And so that's a really interesting one. And this one, when you do 19 times 19, that gives you 361. So you don't really have, you can't divide 19 into something even.
Yeah.
So it's a 19-day week or a 19-day month, however you want to look at it.
Yeah, I've definitely never seen that one. That's interesting.
Yeah, this one's like a monk's one or a holy one, if you like. But you could say that about all calendars, really, except the Gregorian. Just interesting when I was looking at this, it's like so this one has the 8-day week. You end up with like this division of 5 in the center, and same with this one. And these 365-day calendars all have 5 in them in some way, which I thought was pretty significant because like the circle with the 5, it's like demonized. It's like he's doing a ritual, and it's like it's probably just a calendar.
Yeah, Ken Wheeler says that's the most sacred shape. The geometry of that center part right there. If you take all the points off, that shape right there, he says is as most perfect as you can get to nature. I still don't understand what he means, but he goes into it mathematically and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Oh, well, the ratios here between this point and this point here, so the length of this line and its division where it gets divided through is actually phi.
Okay.
That's the phi ratio. And you can keep doing this shape within it. See how it's got another pentagon inside of it?
Right.
You can do another star inside.
Sort of fractal or whatever. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And phi is found in nature, like the pine cone and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's also how plants grow. Some plants grow. They'll actually spread their leaves at a certain
ratio, right? That angle.
A certain angle apart, and that gives them the most light, and they're not in the way of each other. Pineapples, as we were talking before, have phi. Yep. Cool. There's your 5 elements that can be included in that one. So I want to include all these other stuff in the app, but yeah, I've got to sell a bit more than what so far. So I don't know, this just gets into more esoteric sort of stuff, I guess, or mythology and symbology, and how music relates to it all. But if you want to go there, just let me know. If not, I'll stop.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, I love the music aspect. Sorry, go ahead. Yes.
Yeah, okay. So just we'll go back here. This Horai, which are your 3 seasons, were related to different means, if you like, or mathematical equations of ratio. And so you have the harmonic mean, the geometric mean, and the arithmetic mean. And they also relate to the trivium and the quadrivium and those sort of ideas, and this idea of the 3 pillars, which is your Doric, Ionic, and Corinthian, which you may see in sort of Masonic drawings and all of that, but they're just basically measurement systems. And so these arithmetic mean, the geometric mean, and the harmonic mean all work together to produce the scales. So this is how you actually divide strings and into their parts to get the, you know, the octave, the whole tone, the fourth and the fifth. So it's via these harmonic means and arithmetic means that you actually can create these divisions, because the string lengths, it's all ratio based. So you have this correlation between the seasons, the mythology of the seasons, the three hori, and how music is created. And that's where you get sort of like these personifications of, say, Apollo and different things, and they'll hold the lyre or the music, or they'll play the flute or whatever it is, while they're referencing how these divisions actually create the music. And you can see how the actual the cipher, the English cipher, actually fits into, and also the calendar, obviously the 364-day calendar, fits into how you would actually map out a keyboard from C to C. So do the whole octave. And the geometric mean, or the central point of that octave, is called the tritone. And you'll see that the tritone is sort of two words, and it's referencing the Trinity in one. So this that's what they're sort of talking about, this middle pillar that is the Trinity. And obviously we get this, the all hated number of 666. Well, it is actually a ratio, a string ratio of a perfect fifth. The same with the 888, which is another, if you use the Greek gematria on the Jesus's name, you'll actually get 888, which is the ratio for a whole tone. So there's actually, what they're doing is creating names that are referencing geometric constants, if you like, or musical constants. And so they're actually, in mythology, they're talking about how certain things relate to each other, personified, basically mathematics, which is really, really interesting. It's really complex, but it's a really fascinating subject. So again, this is just how.
Yeah.
And you also have, with the three means, you have this linkage to the quadrivium. And the quadrivium is about numbers in space and numbers in time. So the harmonic, then these are the three means once again. So you have the harmonic mean, which is basically your arithmetic, which is number in time. And then you have the geometric mean, which will be numbers in space, so geometry. So one is just numbers in space, which is geometry, and then the arithmetic mean, which is numbers in a series, which means it's basically like, sorry, that's numbers. The harmonic is numbers in time, which is music. Sorry, that's so rhythm. That's music, and that's what creates music, is numbers in time. So these are the three trinities, in a sense, that you go back into mythology, that create the world. You have time, space, and matter. So time is a trinity in itself. It is past, present, and future. Space is a trinity in itself. It has width, height, and length. And matter can be seen as a trinity with its solid, liquid, and gas. So, yeah, they have a relationship to this spring, summer, and winter, which is, really really, really fascinating way of actually
looking at it.
Presenting information where it correlates to a number of different things in at once, and it's like stackable information.
It's an easy way to remember things, to, you know, like build your logic.
Yeah, and then to personify it in myth is another way of like data holding, basically, because you're giving a character attributes that now you can say, oh, this is to do with this, 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 and this. It's a really, really nice way of building information quickly as well as retaining it. So that's how why this 361 is so special, like I said, with the compass. And it's actually this symbol here, which is called the monad, is is throughout all mythologies and cosmologies because it is a reference to the flat Earth. Now, it's been overtaken by, everyone thinks this is a sun symbol, but it's actually not. So you can see the maypole here, and that is a 360 degrees with the central pillar, the central point. And so that central point is our Polaris, or the center, the North Pole, and then everyone moving around the outside.
I would like to point out everybody moving around the outside is mostly wearing white. So, you know, there's your ice wall.
Yeah, nice. So this is what happened, and I keep trying to push this point because I think it's so important to re-establish what the mythologies and things are talking about, is that what happened was, as that we moved into a heliocentric model, the sun took the position of where the world axis would be, the Polaris and the North Pole. And so the Earth started rotating around the sun. So all the attributes that were originally for the world axis now got washed into or moved into sun symbolism. And so now we got all these, you know, the mainstream and all that sort of stuff saying, oh, you know, they worship the sun. Well, in fact, they didn't. They were actually more concerned with the world axis because it was seen as the stable point within the world that everything revolved around. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, man.
So this is what happened. And so nearly every sort of solar god that you see, you know, type it in and it's like, oh, this one's associated with the sun. This one's associated with, you know, all these different attributes of the sun. In fact, it wasn't a solar god whatsoever. They were, in fact, world axis gods. And this was seen as this bridge, or this bridge between the earth and the sky. So an axis that's sort of like a tent pole holding up the dome, if you like, or holding up
a giant tree, perhaps.
A giant tree, exactly.
What's up, Any Word? Where you at? Or Any Word wanted us to talk about giant trees tonight earlier in chat. That's awesome, brother. You brought it around.
Yep. So it was the tent pole that held everything together. It was also the bridge between heaven and earth, and heaven and earth are like another way of saying mind and matter. So, or the masculine and the feminine. So the masculine was usually seen as the sky, and the earth was usually seen as the feminine. So Mother Earth and Father Sky. And so this pole, like Polaris, is actually the symbol that joins in the feminine and masculine together. So it's the same thing with seeing a sundial as well. So that central point in a sundial is pointing to Polaris, and it has this correspondence to what was known as a threshing floor. And you can see in this picture down below, is that you had the horses and they would
Wow.
move around in a circle to crush the stalks of the grain and release the seeds onto the floor, where they could be swept up and then made out of flour. So the horse is actually this is where you get the name horse. Hours, if you take the consonants out of it, or the vowels out of it, you get hours, and hours as well as hori, and you'll also get Horus. So this central pivot, the horses were seen as the power behind the turning of the wheel, or the great wheel, or turning behind the turning of the heavens. And Polaris was that stable point that held the horses that they turned around. So you could see the horses acted like the shadow of a sundial. They were analogous to the shadow of a sundial. And so that's where you get this sort of analogy of people working the field and doing farm work in this movement of the heavens. This also related to the crushing of grapes for wine, as also the crushing of olives to make oil, and that's where you get all this wine and bread and all these sort of things that are very biblical, if you like, coming out of these ideas about this this movement here of time. Now, the gods, or the personification of this world axis, are basically time lords, and they're the mercurial figure because they are both neither masculine or feminine. They're sort of this eternal youth, timelessness itself, outside of time, because it's immovable in comparison to the rest of the moving of the stars. And you can see these figures here that you're probably well aware of seeing, the iconic sort of halo around religious figures. Halo is actually has etymological links to the threshing floor. And so the threshing floor here is sort of personified as that halo around them. And so they are now this central being at the center of the world, if you know what I mean, like they're revered as being wholeness,
Polaris.
Yeah. And so they become, because the central pillar is the number one. You can see it right there. It's a number one is special because it's from that every other number originates from. Without one, you have no other numbers. And so it is the joining of masculine and feminine. It has no sort of, it's only when two is created that you get this, polarity created. And so you can see that there's a one in the center and a circle around it. And so the one and the zero, or is the pole and the whole, but it's also, also 10 in a different sort of way of looking at it. So you see a lot of reference to 10 as as a special number. Using like gematria and in Greek and things like that, you'll actually see the 361, which is again the 360 degrees with the central point. Has reference to the child. It also has reference to the lamb. And you'll see that these figures, like Hermes or Jesus, will hold the lamb or the ram
over their head.
Over their head. So the reference here is that they're holding the world, like Atlas is. They're holding the world above their heads. And the other one is they're a good shepherd because it is Polaris that actually tends the flock of planets, if you like, or the sun and the moon. It's tending those as they move around, and it's making sure that they're doing the right thing.
Yeah, they don't wander off their course.
Anyway, there's a massive. It's also an image of an eye.
Horus. The
Yep.
Eye of Horus.
Yep, all-seeing eye. So that's that same image. It's also this central point in the center is also a rock. It can be seen as a millstone. It's seen as the heart. It has lots and lots of different sort of ways of depicting it, but it's all speaking about the same thing.
Wow.
And you'll see it in the gematria.
I do think there's certain schools that do teach this out there, like some of these secret society families and whatnot. Like this is some of the stuff that some of them are taught. Maybe not all of them, but some of them.
Okay, you take some of this stuff in, and once you get used to the ideas of what they're doing, you see it in movies
everywhere. Yeah,
flat out everywhere, and you say, "Oh, okay, that's what." I was watching Tron the other day, and it was like, "Oh, they're going to the North Pole, and that's where they escape to get out."
Oh wow, I watched that.
That's where they get out, But, when you're dealing with like superhero characters, well, they are the mercurial character. They're coming into their mercurial strength, where they're, say, Superman, right, is red and blue joined together in his suit, telling you straight up that he is both the sun and the moon, or the masculine and feminine, joined into one being. So,
wow, yeah.
That's what they do. Nearly all those superhero characters going through their process are becoming mercurial. They're becoming the where they know themselves at their strongest point is when they have dictatorship, control over both polarities, and they're unstoppable. So this is just some other stuff that comes out of looking at the gematria and the geometry sort of numbers that come out of it. It's a lot of fun. Won't go too much into too many details, but 27 and all those sort of things. That's about it for now. So the Omphalos stone, that's another one you'll see referenced all the time. The world tree, where they have the bird sitting above it or whatever it is. They'll have like the stag as well. You'll see the deer or the stag is another symbol for the world tree, because its name is in reference to a point or a stick. So yeah. Anyway, people got a little bit out of that through the calendars and where it leads into
that was
some of the flat earth stuff, as well as the mythologies.
Yeah, it's pretty deep. But once you, like you said, once you start looking into it a little bit and get a grasp of it, you're going to see it everywhere.
Yeah. And it really does tell us a lot about our world, like once you get the idea that, okay, there's an axis there, we sort of can't see it, but we know it's there because because Polaris moves around it, everything moves around it. Then we have this idea of, okay, that's our stable point and you have this correlation
everywhere.
It's also has a correlation with us as well, because the spine in the center of the world is also the spine within us, and so that's where we go to find our power, in a sense, is within ourselves. We have to go to and find that balance point within ourselves to act from, if you like. Yep. So that's what a lot of these gods and different personifications will have them hanging on the world tree. Christmas is a perfect example of why they celebrated Christmas, is because the Christmas tree or any other tree that is evergreen is seen as the eternal tree within the world. within the world axis, and so it's evergreen. It's always giving life, and that's why they celebrate it. And you put a star on top or an angel, and that's where Polaris is, right? So that's what Christmas is really should be about. You understand? It's all flat Earth, man.
Yeah.
Once you understand the flat Earth, once you understand the flat Earth cosmology, it all makes sense why they celebrated these things and why they celebrated the world axis the way they did.
That was awesome, man.
That was way awesome.
Cool.
Totes awesome.
Glad you liked it.
No, I did.
So yeah, where can people find the app now?
Yeah, sorry. The Star Calendar Calculator is what it's called, and it's on either Apple apps store or the other one is Android. So they can find it on the Play Store there.
Nice. How much would that run?
I think it's maybe $4 for you guys.
I think it's $3.99. Yep.
Yeah. So yeah, it's I'm hoping people sort of start to.
If you get Zack to start shilling it for you like he does David.
Yeah.
Him or Daz, one of them.
It's definitely been a labor of love, that's for sure. It hasn't been cheap to produce, and it's just more about trying to get people back into nature and all that sort of stuff, you know. And I hope it just grows. And
yeah, I know how it is, man. When you put so much love and effort into something, and then you get it out there, and then it gets like no views or no. I'm having the same issue with this Fortnite map, because me and Nemo put a lot of time and effort into making this huge map, and it's like nobody's playing it. It's yeah.
It might be just you know, we might both have sleepers. You don't know.
I'm hoping.
Yeah.
Well, it's not just that. You need the marketing to get behind it.
Yeah, a lot of it is marketing, and that's not what the creators do, you know?
Yeah, no, I'm not real.
Yeah, me neither. That's where David comes in, and he's the marketing guru.
Yeah.
Small hat magic, man. It works.
Yeah.
Well, I know
we don't have that.
I know the chat liked it a lot. A lot of thank yous to you, Lucas, for this presentation. I was enjoying it. Again, so much information and stuff to go over. Liz says she's gonna have to watch it a couple times, maybe. Worth rewatching.
Yeah.
So,
well, at least we've got it here. Hopefully, no, we're not.
I feel like I'm
or anything
doing that,
to knock it off the air, right?
I feel like I'm just like, yeah, here's a bunch of information just like slapped in the, you know, slapped around the head with it. But yeah. Anyway, it's on record
it's
now.
Better
so
to me actually to get that
it.
extra deep dive that you like to give stuff, man, because that gives you an idea of how integrated this is into that. Like you said, look at the movies, look at the music. I mean, it's everywhere. It's shown to us.
Yeah.
It's used if you know what you're doing. It's amazing.
Yeah, and it just gives you guys something to move into if you want to go into that direction of mythologies or analyzing things in a different way. It's
very interesting world. Very interesting world.
And it's nice to actually tie in mythologies and those sort of things to Flat Earth and say, hey, these guys knew about it. This is what they're referencing, and this is why it's so important that they're referencing it. And it's all Flat Earth based. It's all that cosmology based.
Yeah, exactly. Showing that, I loved it, man.
Same.
How long did it take? Well, I know you're still working on it and everything, but how long have you been working on it now?
The whole time.
Yeah, probably in a year or something. And I've been talking about it for longer than that. But it did take a while. It's not really exactly how I wanted it, but it's close enough,
Well, nothing to the artists. Are they ever really done with anything? Is anything ever perfect to the artist that does it?
No, exactly.
No.
You never finish it, you just abandon it.
Yep. My first art teacher, Miss Vanderhart, taught me that. Because the first time I looked at it, I was like, hey, I'm done. This is good enough. And she looked at me, she's like, is that really good enough for you? Is that perfect? And I was like, well, no, it's not perfect. She's like, well, try a little bit more then. And it looked a lot better. I did that like 3 or 4 times. She asked me that question. And it looked awesome when I was done, but I ran out of time. At the end, it was like I was still working on it. You know, it was not like I was finished with it. I never turned it in. It was like, okay, time's up. It's like, what do you mean time's up? I still wanted to do a little bit more over here and this and that. Yeah, it's not perfect yet. You said perfect. Just like, well, that's how it works. Yeah, a true artist, I don't think they're ever done with their work. Their work's never done. I like that, Walter. You just abandon it.
Right. Stakes are done. Projects are completed. Art is abandoned.
Yeah, there you go.
Well said. Was that gonna do it? Lev, thanks for joining in, brother. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was really exciting to see you hop in, Lev.
Yeah, cool. Nice one.
Anytime, you know.
We're a bit more on
He was
I
saying,
said, and you now have the key, so yeah, go
all
right
right.
ahead.
Yeah, this is always the link. It never changes.
All right, don't change. That's quite cool. I put it in my back chat because I couldn't get it in YouTube on my phone because I've got it on my desktop. It's got a longer thing for chat and stuff like that kind of thing. Like, so that's quite cool. I'll be able to join in. But yeah, like another thing, aspect of faith is because like what this world is 2 hemispheres to your brain. You know, I mean, you got your left brain thinking, and you got your right brain thinking. Your left brain's logic, and your right brain's intuition and creativity, and your spiritual aspects and stuff like that kind of thing. All right, and it's like the realm is like that as well. You know what I mean? But we've been taught from school and stuff like that to look at it in a left brain way. You know what I mean? So that's like, you know, to tailor their space model and having to go to the stars and spaceships and all these kind of things and stuff like that. But thinking about it in like left brain kind of way and stuff like that kind of thing, it isolates your left brain thinking. You know, I mean, it takes away your right brain thinking and stuff like that. So when you're concerning things which are on that other side of stuff, it's that initial step of stuff like faith and stuff like to actually unlock the key to actually enable you to actually see such things or become connected to such stuff and that, you know, like worthiness and stuff like that kind of thing. Like if you're worthy, then you've got a much more connection to God in that kind of sense. Like, you know what I mean? It's kind of like otherwise, like that spiritual blindness it'll remain there and stuff like that kind of thing because you're willing towards that blindness. You know what I mean? It's like your faith is in that blindness. You know what I mean? And stuff like so, like compared to true faith. You know what I mean? And stuff like with kung fu and stuff like that kind of thing. Wing Chun, it's a short range martial art, so you're only up here and stuff like that kind of thing. Whereas a boxer might be, you know, a karate person and stuff like that kind of thing. So for me to have faith in what my teacher was teaching me, stuff like that kind of thing, it's like it's like pictures online and stuff like that kind of thing where people are practicing and stuff like that kind of thing. You can say punches from the opponent, it's like, you know, right in his face and stuff like that kind of thing. So you've got to have your guard up and stuff like that. But it works really well. So like since I've learned that, I mean beforehand I was just a novice martial artist in a sense and stuff like that. I knew a lot of different martial arts, but I'd never been good at a proper competition or all that. You know, sparring a weekend and stuff like that kind of thing. Yeah, you're okay, you know what I mean, stuff like that kind of thing. Like, but like to do a real fight or like on the street or whatever and stuff like that kind of thing, right? It's very intimidating, you know what I mean? It's a scary kind of process and stuff like. But in that kind of sense of like having faith in that movement, and you learn it when you're training and stuff like that kind of thing. So it's really easy in that kind of way. But a lot of people lose faith in it to begin with, you know what I mean? It was invented by a woman, so over years people's ego were like, oh no, you know, it must be soft or whatever and stuff like that kind of thing, like all them kind of aspects and stuff like that kind of thing. So like, you know, people had to have more faith in it back then to take that initial step and stuff like. It's that ego which kind of blocks things on it and stuff like. So
I'm a tiger
But,
claw. What you mean you're a snake fighting a crane?
It works. But it's also based on human, isn't it? You know what I mean? And stuff like, which makes Wing Chun different to like all the other Shaolin styles.
That's why I love that center line and those Wing Chun practitioners. And everybody can tell a Wing Chun practitioner when they just cover that center line and block it off. And there's that protective triangle and the wedge. And
yeah.
I absolutely love it. There's just something about it. I wanted to get into it with you, and we've kind of went over a little bit. So I'm hoping you will come back at some point, because I would love to talk some Kung Fu and get into it a little bit.
The center line,
no doubt.
it's also important because you got your brain's in the center, your body's in the center, and then when you look at the equator, I put it into my research for like the origins of life and stuff like that, and it's like more to do with the water being conscious, like the ocean, and how it's reflected the light from the sun into the water, and it's created like, you know, where the equator line is the backbone, and then like from there you've got a reflection. So on one side, you've got one side of fish's body. On the other side, you've got the other side of fish's body. The sunlight reflection is the eye and all that kind of stuff. And all this comes from is the wave on the shore. When it rolls over, it's sensing the gravity pressure, or whatever we would call it. You know what I mean? The density gradient of that and stuff like that kind of thing, right? It's testing oxygen or whatever other gases are in air when it's going through, and all the bubbles go through it and stuff like that kind of thing, right? And then you can tell all this because also that's your teeth as well. It's got like the entire face of every creature, right, is embedded in how that wave works. And it shows you on side at fish. It'll have a photograph of the waves on every single fish, and not everything. Some of them got like cymatic patterns or whatever and stuff like that, but quite a lot of them have got photographs on them. I never saw them before, and they're like really good photographs. It's like that looks like a proper photo. You know what I mean? You can see all waves coming. You know, if it's stripes, not stripes or waves. You know what I mean? And stuff like, so it's showing you that wave is the origin of where we came. Well, we all are water. We all share that and that kind of sense and stuff like. So, like a plant, when it dies, it's just a shell in it. All the water's kind of gone away and stuff like that. In a sense, it's gone back to source. So you've got this really big thing about. I made about 15 videos on it to like go through it all and stuff like that. And I think it's quite good. Like, but not many views, like you said earlier.
Yeah, you have to come back on and go through those, man.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I will do. Yeah, nice one. Be good meeting you all. Be good chatting to everybody.
Absolutely, my friend. Thank you so much.
Nice one.
If you guys haven't checked out Lev Kung Fu's channel, get it there. I'll just drop the link for you in chat. Give me a second.
And thanks, Nemo, for hopping in. Sorry we didn't get to you. And thanks for all the effort you put into building that map that went nowhere.
Don't worry yet.
Oh, we're not done yet.
Yeah. Don't lose faith.
Nope.
I want to ride around in one of those buggies in it, for sure.
Well, I gave you a villa. Does that help?
Yeah, you got a villa in the game.
Sweet.
But yeah, we're definitely we'll figure something else. Just you have to. I'm thinking of battle. Well, we'll talk about this some other time. But battle royal mode, where people come in on the bus, and because it's big enough for something like that.
Can you play it on an iPad?
No, Liz was having that issue. You've got to at least get a Switch.
Oh, we've got a Switch.
But you can play it on your PC right there too. You know.
No, I'll get the kids to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what we're looking for.
And their
ones.
friends, yeah.
Righto. Okay, I'll talk to you after, Zach, and we'll get this set up for the Switch. That'll be sweet.
Cool. Absolutely.
I started hearing at a pretty young age. You should be a lawyer when you grow up. And that eventually evolved into you should have been a lawyer. And I can totally see it, right? Because I'm argumentative as fuck. And you do it in a Socratic way, and you just start leading people to the answer that you want, and it makes them feel manipulated, and it pisses them off, and it gets all emotional. So I could totally see that. It's not that I'm insulted, because it's the absolute truth. I probably should have. I mean, there's a lot of work, but I guess it's like what it makes me realize about me and what my obvious personality defects are, because it's true. I probably should have been a lawyer, because that's the kind of prick I am. And that's really kind of what bugs me about the fact that I probably should have been a lawyer, because there's something inherently in my personality that would lead me to that god-awful, detestable line of work.
And that's why you're not a lawyer, and you decided to go into the First Amendment audit route. You just,
I'd have to say it's probably a lot of weed. Drugs and alcohol are probably the main reasons I'm not a lawyer.
That'll do it.
Hey, I've known a few
Come
lawyers.
on,
That doesn't stop them at all, dude.
No, but it's all about the timing. They probably didn't start at 13.
Yeah, exactly.
They probably
got
started
through
in law
college
school.
pretty much first, yeah. It's all about
Hey,
time.
real quick, Lucas, if you give Zack and Nemo $5, they'll probably put your Alp on your villa there in the game.
Yeah, we're definitely going to have to do that. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to update it.
I'd do it for $3.99.
We can arrange something. Yeah. Yeah.
I did drop Lev Kung Fu Shaolin's channel there for everybody in chat. Go check it out. Lucas, your channel is there somewhere as well. I will find it again. I know I had it a while ago open.
I was going to say, do you have an app?
Don't worry about it.
Well, I had to start closing stuff because I had things dragging. I had too many YouTube tabs open.
Well, do you have a link for your app? Because I didn't see that come through the chat.
Yeah, just type in the name of it, Star Calendar Calculator, and it should pop up, and you'll see that I've made it. You'll have my name on it. Yeah.
Not $49, anybody.
All right, well, I guess we can get the hell out of here. What were you saying, Lucas?
I was saying thanks for having me.
No,
let's get the fuck out of here.
Anytime. Let's get the fuck up out of here. If
I
you
was going to say, you want to go out with some music and try your little overlay trick for YouTube?
No.
No.
Well,
no, because this has been too much good information to get taken down. Please
that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
Yep.
What I was actually just getting ready to say was that if you see this channel go live at some point this weekend, it's probably just going to be me testing my ability to phase out music to see if
do
it
that
gets
on the
canceled.
backup channel.
See, I thought about that too, but then it made me worried about.
Yeah, what if we get that gets gone and then we get taken off this one? Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's a crap
I know a
show.
little truth slingers channel we can throw it up around on and see what happens.
I've got like 3 or 4 Josh Corey channels I could throw it out on there, see how that works.
Liz is saying her bed is calling. Liz, I'm with
Yes,
you.
Liz, you're hanging
and
tough, man. I can't believe it. Thank you, you Iron Maiden lady. You. Thank you so much. Cami,
Thanks,
you need to
Liz.
go to bed too. Thank you.
I know that is like it's 9:30 on a Friday night.
Yeah.
But no, it is time to take the headphones off and enjoy a little bit. So good night, everybody.
Good night, Kimi. Much love.
Good night.
You have a good
Much love
weekend.
to you.
Tell your son we said hello.
I will do. And you can
Absolutely.
argue and
I
come
feel like
down
I
on
haven't
me
talked to
anytime.
Jaron or played a game with Jaron in like forever.
He hasn't been playing.
I kind of
He's-
got that vibe.
People have
from
been
what you
asking
said
him,
the other day.
the dev team's actually having him do stuff for him. They're asking him to do
That's
stuff.
cool.
And
Well,
yeah,
he's in the mood. Tell
So
him about
he's-
that. You know,
he's writing,
always around.
he's programming, you know him.
Well, and he's going to have more to do that they laid off 850 employees.
Well, I saw that go by earlier, right before we got on. I saw that they had laid off and wondered if that was affecting him. So I was going to ask you later.
Well, he's a subcontractor, so technically he won't get laid off. He just
Yeah.
won't
Nice.
get work.
Good.
Yeah. He's probably one of the reasons they get laid off is because he catches all their bonehead shit that they do, and they're like, "How did you not catch this?
That last huge.
You're fired." Yeah,
Interesting timing, huh?
Yeah, they just laid off a bunch of people.
They just laid off a ton of folks.
You know what this kid just did? Are you serious?
The most basic of. You know what?
Yes, that was the password you fuckers used.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
This is like baby town frolics around here. I love y'all.
Love you guys. Thank you so much. We will see you back here next Friday.
Bye, Rome.
Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for having me again.
Anytime, love.
Yes, thank you, Leo.
I'll jump on at some point. Yes.
Thank you, Lucas.
For those of you that are
don't
interested,
have the screaming
like,
goat handy, I don't guess, or I would have heard him scream by now.
Oh, you've heard him scream once. I screamed Lucas in.
I didn't even hear it. So.
No!
You can be sure I scream him out. We do still have the GoFundMe up. I was going to keep it up through the weekend. I know Facebook allows you to do like charity drives for your birthday. You can throw up a link for charity for people to donate to. Well, I could probably do my GoFundMe. That's not the first thing I will put up there. I will put up the House Rabbit Society here in St. Louis because it is a regular old 501c3 non-profit organization. And I know they could always use the money because it ain't cheap to rescue bunnies. I mean, Christ, just to fix a bunny costs you about $300. And they fix every single bunny it costs when it comes in. So when you adopt it, it's already taken care of. So I think I'm going to put up the House Rabbit Society there on Facebook. It'll be the first time I've ever done that or even made any kind of to-do about my birthday beyond responding to all the birthday wishes. But I think maybe on the back end of that, I will just throw out that link and let people know that if they have a beef against bunnies, but they still want to donate, they could always donate to my computer fund, and there it is. So for all the bunny haters out there that still want to celebrate my birthday that I don't celebrate myself, at least they'll be able to do it. But thanks again to everybody that's donated. I will be starting to cut decals this weekend, and hopefully I'll be getting them out in the mail either next week or shortly thereafter. Gonna be good times. Gentlemen, thank you for an eventful Friday as always. It's been a long one.
Absolutely. Thank you. Brian, CB there in chat. I saw that you had said you would email me. I haven't gone to check that yet, but definitely. Sorry, I'm just laughing because Daryl's got me fiending for some freaking good coffee right now, and it's late, and I don't need coffee, Daryl. Don't do it to me. Anyway, but thank you. Absolutely. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Especially you, Daryl. Up to bringing his life-saving meds, coming in and swooping in, and just the right time as always. And if only words could express my appreciation, but they always fail. But I always feel bad if I don't at least try. So it's nothing but love. Thank you so much. You guys got anything else?
That was it. Like I said, I will get out those picks. Probably it won't be this weekend because I have to play lots of songs with them for you guys. So, but
are you going to personalize songs and then send them a link? Like, here's me playing the song for you with your pick.
I really did. Like, I've already done a little practice round with one of the picks and sent it over to Liz to let her see the progress. And then I have to, the song she actually requested, is one I haven't played in probably since I put that video up of me playing it, the Crush of Love, the Joe Satriani. So I will have to, do some practicing. So the picks will get a little wear if that's what you want. But yeah, I'll probably put a video up of my idiocy for you guys.
Or there you go. You can just take a few picks and practice and learn a song, and then you can just write which song it is on the pick when you mail them out. And then they can watch you performing that song and practicing that song and learning that song with those picks that have that song title on them. Thanks,
or something like
guys.
that.
Something. Make some personalized recordings. You include their name. The childhood
Happy
friends.
corporation formation there, Joshy. Because we
Yeah.
won't see you Sunday.
Nope, I guess
Here's your birthday song. It's not very long.
not. Full stop. Well, thank you so much. Yeah, again, thank my mom. She did all the work. Apparently, it's a pretty unpleasant pregnancy and unpleasant delivery, and well, unpleasant
Just unpleasant all
rearing
around.
in general. Yeah. Unfortunately on my behalf. But love you guys. I will see you all right back here next week, either
Oh,
Monday,
look at
Wednesday,
Daryl.
or
He's
Friday
rubbing it
morning.
in. I love you, Daryl. You ass. All right, love y'all.
Hey, he's 2 hours behind. It ain't even too late for coffee yet.
Yeah, he's not even looking at nighttime like I am and thinking, coffee would be so good right now. No, I won't do it.
Don't forget Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 4 a.m. Central to 6 a.m. Central. That'd be 2 a.m. way over there on the left coast to the 4 a.m. mark. You can find us over there on freeworld.fm, sort of. We'll be going live with the website, live with the station soon. That's the hope. But we're also live streaming on our YouTube channels that early in the morning. And then, of course, every Friday here for Have No Sphere, exclusively on YouTube for now. Until then, you guys be good, be well, do good, do well, and make sure you know the difference amongst all four of those. We love you.